Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and your fountainhead of fandom. But mostly, I'm your pharaoh of physical media. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett. This is episode 71 of Let's Get Physical Media. One day, I'm going to sing that in tune. That day is not today. And you know it's not a show. It's not a show unless I've got my favorite German, your favorite German, the world's favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Please put your hands together for Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you today? How are things in Saarbrücken?
Rob, it's always nice if you cover me in oil, but I'm stressed out. Rob. So much content, so little time. Considering all the good shows we have, I barely can keep up with everything, you know? And considering starting the action immediately, I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, D-Day here I am, rock you like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel. Well, let's get physical media, but we talk about a lot of other stuff too. So, Rob, let me just do what I don't like when the movies do it, you know? We started with action, now we do 3 weeks earlier, you know, our last show 3 weeks earlier. On Monday, after the Sunday, I watched Barry on HBO Max, the third season. I don't know if you watched Barry. Yep. Awesome show. Don't know how they will resolve the cliffhanger of the third season, but it was nice. And it's great that Bill Hader is directing mostly the most of the episodes too. He does himself. So great show. I don't know if you have seen, Rob, The Baby on HBO Max.
I have not.
With the devilish baby, you know, you have the baby that sometimes accidents happen to people. It started off strong, but it's lost a little bit of its drive, considering the latest episode. But it was a nice watch. And when I watched the last episode of The Baby 3 weeks ago, it happened. The world ended, Rob. Power outage here. And I was, Rob, like a zombie, because I didn't know what to do. There was a power outage, no AC/DC for me, and I didn't know what to do, Rob. Didn't know. What? Should I go outside now?
There are things called books. There's words in them. The best of them have stories that are indelible and unforgettable.
Yeah. I should
Do you have any books?
Gotten into... yeah, I have books, Rob, that I probably should...
Do you have books that aren't that big Hunger Games coffee table book? Do you have any other books other than that?
Yeah, but not that many as you. But I totally forgot about books. And luckily, Rob, it only took an hour and a half before the power came back.
Oh my God! I mean, can you imagine living in this world? Living in this world without power.
And I was human again, Rob. I was human again after stumbling around an hour and a half.
I just can't imagine what that's like.
So I could finally finish The Baby. Good show, but like I said, it lost a little bit in the later episodes. Starting off yesterday or on Friday, Rob, you finished Stranger Things 2.
I did.
That was.
You mean Stranger Things season 4 episodes?
Season 4, volume
part 2.
Volume 2. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
For me, totally liked it. The only thing for me, I think they should have ended the series with the finale, because I don't think another season could be even just more retreading the same stuff for me. So I would think would have best to finish the season up with the Force, with this long 2.5 hour climax, epic finale. So I don't know if there's gas left in the tank.
That's like the end of some great relationships I've had. A 2.5 hour climax, and then it's done. Bye-bye. Good night, Irene.
So I don't know if there's any gas left in the tank. But okay, I will still be on board considering Stranger Things. You liked it too, I guess. I
did. I thought it was really good. I mean, I really liked Stranger Things 1 a lot. The second season was a retread. The third season was a little goofy, and it taxed my sense of verisimilitude that the Russians could build that big of a base. I mean, I understand it was a shopping mall project. Maybe they, snuck into Hawkins like, hey, let's build a giant underground base in America. No one will notice as we build the shop, but it's fine. But you know what I have to say? I have to say that I'm going to equate Stranger Things season 4's success with the success of The Boys, and everything lives and dies with writing. And I think what's really interesting is both Stranger Things season 4 and The Boys season 3 have serviced, so to speak, their characters very well. I mean, we're jumping around. We never got to a storyline where I'm like, ugh, this storyline, I'm so bored. Let's go to the next thing. I think the writing is really, really on point, and to see that deep into a show's run, into the third season and into the fourth season, I think it's terrific. And same is true of For All Mankind. The first 4 episodes of For All Mankind, I think this season, it's funny, I love For All Mankind, but it does push the melodrama right up to the edge. I mean, it always, it's as much as I love the science fiction and the physics, and space is a scary, scary place that none of us are going to survive, but I love it so much. And did you watch For All Mankind?
I've not caught up. I'm missing the last episode, Rob, and I was a little bit considering. You told me, come on, dude, let's go to space, to the final frontier. And then you tell me it's a scary place. Then you tell me when I'm up there, it's a scary place that could kill me in an instant.
Dude, you should remember, in space, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah.
And by the way, they should have remembered that on this week's episode of Strange New Worlds, because they shamelessly ripped off. It's funny, do these young writers in these writers' room, do they just think that we genre fans forget about movies like Alien, Aliens, and Predator? Like, pshaw, they're never going to remember that. They're never going to remember Ursula K. Le Guin's story from 1974, Those Who Walk Away from Umlaus. No one's going to remember that. It only won the Hugo. She's only Ursula K. Le Guin. Who's ever heard of her? I got to tell you, the writers on Strange New Worlds, I'm telling you, at least they're ripping off good movies. I mean, if they were ripping off like Galaxy of Terror, which was a ripoff of Alien, then I'd be like, that's not so good. But at least they're ripping off from the best. Ursula K. Le Guin, Alien and Aliens. It's fine.
Can I say something?
But you haven't seen... Dude, I have to say, the last episode of For All Mankind, I've said this before, the fourth episode, the last shot actually made me duck. I literally went, like, I literally ducked. It's not even in 3D. I've got my 3D TV.
Yeah.
Wasn't even in 3D. I was far enough away from the screen. It's not like I was sitting in front. I literally ducked. It is fucking hardcore. The last 10 minutes of that episode is hard fucking core. I mean, I got to hand it to those wizards over there. They really understand. It's so great. And to a certain extent, The Expanse is this way too. They really lean into the physics of space, which is really great because, again, in this week's episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, they have us believe that there are shrunk down versions of the Constitution-class starship, of which the Enterprise is one, that it looks exactly the same as the Enterprise, but it's only half the size, with like a crew of like 99 people, and yet the interior sets still look the same. I mean, here's a pro tip for you TV writers out there. You all understand the concept of a bottle show, right? Where you're going to shoot on your standing sets. You want to save some money. When they did the greatest bottle show perhaps ever in the history of the medium is Star Trek's own second season episode, The Doomsday Machine. In that episode, they come across the USS Constellation. It's been wrecked by the Doomsday Machine. The only person left alive on the ship is Commodore Matt Decker. They say there's no devil, Jim, but there is. I saw it straight out of hell. You remember that episode, right? Well, what was so great about that episode...
Less than you.
Come on, dude. But in that episode, they actually have a second starship, a second Constitution-class starship. And whenever they came up with it... When I was a kid watching Star Trek, whenever they came up with they met another starship, it was awesome. Because you're like, oh my God, there's... It was world building because they told you that there's a much larger fleet out there. It's not just the Enterprise and And usually when they brought in another starship, cool, bad shit would happen. So it was awesome, right? But when they do that, it's a bottle show. So they suddenly have a duplicate location. And you're on another starship. And in the episode, The Doomsday Machine, they have a wrecked... It was even cooler when you're a kid because it's a wrecked ship like the Enterprise, but it's wrecked. And they used an AMT model, an off-the-shelf AMT model, in the original, not in the remastered one where it's CG now. But they use... In Star Trek Strange New Worlds, a show that has infinitely more money, they want us to believe, because they're trying to save money and use the same model, that a Constitution class could just be shrunk down to half size. Now, they did this in Next Generation with Klingon Birds of Prey. But this was so stupid. First of all, I wanted to throw something at the screen. But then when you go in and you see the sets are the same size, I'm like, what is this now, the fucking TARDIS? I hate that show. Bob, it's so good. It's like the original. No, it's not. It's like some cheap ass, low rent Vegas showgirl version of Star Trek. Sorry, that's the end of my rant.
Can I?
And by the way, I like cheap ass, low rent showgirls in Vegas. I've had many a fun night with one. They're more fun than Star Trek Strange New Worlds for me. Just saying.
Can I say something good then, Rob?
Please.
About it?
No, but not if you're going to say anything good about this week's episode.
I love just how the show looks from a visual standpoint. From the black level, it always looks great.
You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
From the visual standpoint, considering how lackluster Obi-Wan is looking.
Well, that's true.
Considering the visuals for me are great. And I totally loved how that Guardian alien was done. For me, it looked practical. It didn't look,
you know what?
CG.
I'm willing to give credit where credit is due. That alien, that makeup creation was awesome.
Awesome.
When have
you seen one of those great aliens in Star Wars?
No.
Like this guy. So
no.
Considering for me from the effects and stuff, I think Star Trek Strange New Worlds is actually more pleasing to me than Obi-Wan Kenobi was.
Okay, you know when you're running a thin line though. When you talk about modern Star Trek being pleasing to you, that's a thin line for me.
What do you?
You're on the precipice, man. Yeah. It's like a Warner Brothers cartoon, and I'm about to. You're Wile E. Coyote, and I'm the Roadrunner, and I'm about to push you off. Just so you know, you're about to fall into the precipice, into the abyss. Yeah. No, but no, I give credit where credit is due. I do think that that alien creature was really, really cool, and I would love to see more of that. But it was offset by the monumental stupidity of a because now here's what I really can't stand. Right. You've got 56 years of Star Trek history. Now some asshole comes along and decides, oh, hey, we're going to make a Constitution-class ship half size. So now Memory Alpha and my shelves full of Star Trek reference books over there, Memory Alpha is going to have to go back and reconcile that when they go Constitution-class ship. And apparently there's a Constitution-class ship that's half the size as it was introduced in this stupid alien ripoff episode. Oh, wait, they won't say that. But you know what I mean? Come on, man, where's the verisimilitude? That is what is lacking from Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And these are not strange new worlds. They're not strange, they're not new, they're retreads. They're stolen retreads of other people's work. Stop it, Star Trek. Stop it.
Well, there's only one episode left to go.
Thank God. And you know what? You know what they're going to do? They're going to retcon the fucking Romulans. They're going to retcon the Romulans. Why do they do that? I sit there and watch this. I'm like, and then you read the writers like, well, Captain Kirk just didn't know. And Spock didn't tell him. Oh, that makes sense. So everyone in the original series was an idiot. Anyway, don't get me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I'll Hulk out.
Then we switch to another topic. You
Please.
just barely touched it. The boys, Rob. I don't want to give any spoilers away for people who haven't seen the last episode. Rob, is it the same in the comics that Homelander is? Do you know it is the same in the comics?
No. I don't think it is because in the hero
for me because it was a great.
No, that was fantastic.
Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
it was amazing. I mean, The Boys is so good. Again, great genre writing, and they're servicing all the characters, and they've done a tremendous job this season. Yeah. I really love The Boys, and the acting. I mean, Anthony Starr is so scary, and Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy is crushing it,
And they don't have they don't hold back on anything. Musical number, animation stuff in it, showing what happened to Soldier Boy exactly.
And the history,
everything is in it.
What happened to Black Noir? I mean, I have to tell you, I never want to see him take his mask off after that. That animated sequence was really good. And they were they were leaning into Disney animation, obviously, and it looked terrific. But man, I don't want to see him take his mask off. Do not. No, it's so good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, only one episode left. I'm working my way through the Umbrella Academy, Rob, but I'm only 5 episodes in.
I'm not that far, though. What do you think?
Not really feeling it with the 3rd season at the moment, Rob. I'm always feeling I'm just being in the lobby of the Obsidian Hotel the whole time. So I hope it will pick up a little bit later.
that was really they're adapting that comic, and that was part of it. I mean, they were in that lobby for a very long time.
We have that the Boys is so great. That it's at the moment it's a really high bar for every other show to it.
I mean, there's some incredible Lush. It's really interesting. Shout out to the Duffer Brothers who wrote and directed, I believe, the entire season of Stranger Things. I think they wrote and directed. And these last 2 episodes, I know they're saying these episodes all cost $30 million a piece, and I'm like, but at least it looks it. I mean, the show is beautifully produced. The visual effects are incredible. I mean, that prison set in Russia was big. That fight against the Demigorgon was fucking rad.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's nice to see Paul Reiser in The Boys and in Stranger Things.
Yeah, the re-rising of Paul Reiser. I mean, how great is that? How great is that? Because I've loved Paul Reiser ever since Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop remains one of my favorite movies of the '80s. It is a perfect action comedy, buddy cop action comedy, because it's got great action sequences. It's hard hitting. It's not. I mean, it's funny, but it's not silly. Poor Martin Brest. You know what? If I win the lottery, Martin Brest, who he was the first director I ever met. I interviewed him and wrote an article for my high school newspaper, and during the press junket for Beverly Hills Cop, he came to Seattle, and I got to interview him, and he was great. And you look at Midnight Run, you look at Beverly Hills Cop, you look at Meet Joe Black, you look at Scent of a Woman. The poor man then went and made Geely, and we haven't heard from him since. If I win some money, I'm just going to give the man $50 million. I'll be like, Martin, I don't care what you make. Here's $50 million. Just go write and direct something. Even if it makes no money, as long as I can watch it. Don't care.
Nice. Okay. The Umbrella Academy you talked about, For All Mankind, Umbrella, The Boys. One movie that I saw, Rob, on Paramount Plus that everyone was raving about, but here comes the John Campea subjectivity. For me, no. Beavis and Butthead do the universe. For me, sorry, didn't. I left one or twice at the beginning, but later, for me, it's juvenile drivel, unfortunately.
It was not the Top Gun Maverick of the Beavis and Butthead canon?
For me, not. I like those dudes back in the day, too, but for me, they didn't do much with the time stuff. A little bit of the when they were at college, but it was just a minute, and then it was over. So for me, no.
That's like
And was not
another way a
underground.
relationship ends. It was just a minute and then it was over. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So for me, Beavis and Butthead to America, no, not really a big fan. I was only one time in the 3 weeks at my local multiplex. I saw Jurassic World, Dominion, Rob, and for me, it's the worst of the franchise.
Yeah. You know, I to be honest, I never thought that I would live in a world where there would be a beautifully made movie of dinosaurs eating people that I would have no interest in seeing.
Yeah.
Even I, who like being on YouTube, as a paid pundit, I'm supposed to pontificate about these films. And you know, again, here's the thing. Here's what I find interesting. So, you know, here's the idea that a 65 million year old, when the dinosaurs come back, they're bringing back their ecosystem with them as well, like in a way, because we've got these mutant locusts or whatever those are. I mean, and that's really interesting. Like, what happens when two dominant species now exist on the planet? How does the return of the dinosaurs affect our world? And like, how would it affect industry? And how would it affect shipping when you've got giant, you know, creatures that can take out? Okay, they went to Malta and they're riding around on motorcycles and it just I'm like
and pointing the laser, you know, that the Velociraptor can follow the person.
Yeah, and I'm like that. I don't know. I think they should have. If I had made a Jurassic World sequel called Dominion, I would have set it like 100 years or 1,000 years in the future, when human civilization was decimated. Make it post-apocalyptic. You know, and you've got humanity is sort of trying to, after 1,000 years, they've got some sort of tenuous way to exist with the dinosaurs, but it's rough. Like that Godzilla anime they had. I mean, it's just do something interesting. I can't. There was nothing in the trailers that made me want to go, oh, that's a really cool idea. Yeah. I need to see that.
And you have, like with the Uncharted movie, Rob, nothing has weight, you know, or stakes, you know. They crash land with the plane, everyone is fine. You know, like the Three Little Drinkers said, it'll be fine, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And that is just a big problem. You don't feel any stakes. What I would have done, Rob, even if it would have upset many fans, I would have done the Deep Blue Seas thing. One of the original cast gets eaten.
You would have Sam Jackson
out of nowhere. Yeah, exactly, Rob.
Which one would you? Which one? Okay, the original. You can't kill Ian Malcolm because that would have been. He could have made a Chaos Theory, a Mandelbrot set sort of. If Sam Neill got eaten or Laura Dern got eaten, you know, and then he could have made something about Chaos Theory, and he's like, see, that's what I'm talking about, you know, and then could have been a whole great bit.
Such a scene completely out of nowhere, and then you would have some stakes about the other people, you know. Everything would be fair game. Then
Gilbert is here.
But for me, it was.
Come up here, dude.
It was disappointing. Jurassic World Dominion.
And there he is, Gilbert the Burnettwork.
Oh, look at him.
Having a little popcorn this morning, right, buddy?
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
And Rob, at the beginning of the year, if you would have told me Top Gun Maverick will make $1 billion, I would have said you are insane.
I did say it was going to make.
Get the white jacket out for you. Come on.
No, I did say it. I even said on the Campia show that Top Gun was going to make $100 million, and our good friend Cliff Stevenson, sent back to me, started doing all kinds of box office research, and said, you know, no Tom Cruise movie has ever opened to $100 million, and he's not wrong. Even the Mission Impossible franchise didn't open to that, but I was like, you know what? I think that I think this is an anomaly. I think it's an outlier because. You know, I remember people forget, like in the halcyon days of home video, like in the VHS days, a movie like The Terminator could come out, and The Terminator was successful for what it was. It was a $4 million movie. It did well theatrically, but it became a perennial favorite on home video and on cable. So Terminator came out in 1984. Terminator 2 came out in 91. I think 91? 91.
Yeah, 91.
So Terminator 2 came out in 91. That's a long period of time, and Terminator 2 was really the first $100 million film. And they also made it fairly quickly. If memory serves, they made it within a year. They announced it, and it came out a year later. And people were like, this is the first time people started to like bet against James Cameron. Following up The Abyss, which I still love. Where's that 4K, please? Hello? How long do we have to wait? Life is passing me by.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it came out, it was a huge hit. And there was a reason why they spent $100 million on it, because the Terminator franchise, even though there was only one movie in it, became a perennial in those intervening years. Well, Top Gun is one of the great confections of the 1980s. When you think about Top Gun, it's been parodied. I mean, they made Iron Eagle with Jason Gedrick and Lou Gossett Jr. That was, and they made 3 of those. They made probably more direct to video. I only remember 3 in the theaters, but Top Gun had generations of people primed to go see it. And the movie, by the way, Tom Cruise insisted he waited a long time for the right story. Just so I'm being accosted by doodles. All 3 of them are in here. If they start barking, I apologize. But yeah, I knew it was going to make a ton of money. And I was saying that, at the beginning of the year when we were talking about what movies do you think are going to make the most money in 2022. And I was like, Top Gun Maverick. Gilbert, not cool. You stop barking. Don't do that. And I'm not surprised, because also, look, basically Top Gun Maverick is Top Gun meets Star Wars. The entire mission in that movie is them blowing up the thermal exhaust port and getting that proton torpedo into the Death Star. And it was done brilliantly. I mean, that movie is a total I can see, the intelligentsia can complain. Even people like, well, Rob, you're such a snob. How can you love Gilbert? You can't be barking while I'm monologuing. It's not cool. How can you love that movie? Because that movie knows what it is. It's Top Gun Maverick is a very expensive B movie. It's not like Kurosawa, or it's not like Truffaut or anything like that. It is a complete crowd-pleasing, popcorn-munching studio product that is brilliantly made. It's so satisfying, and it's so much fun to watch. And it is the benchmark. It's what all studio movies should be. And it's not a comic book movie, and it just works. And it has an interesting subtext to it as well. I mean, the idea that Maverick's time is over, that we're no longer going to be using the whole idea of dogfighting and fighter pilots. There's a melancholy that sort of lays over that entire film, and so it has meaning as well. Like for old farts like you and I, we go and like, oh, are we over the hill? Are we too old? Are we useless? I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah, totally. So, but from my perspective, I never thought it would hit $1 billion. I would think if it would run good, probably in the Mission Impossible range, 700 to 800.
Yeah.
But $1 billion, that is totally insane.
It's pretty great.
One thing shortly, I watched on Netflix Spiderhead with
how'd you
Miles
like
Teller.
Another Joseph Kosinski's other film.
Our lead up to Spiderhead, mostly typical Netflix movie, I would say. It wasn't just in the mid tier. It's easy watch. I like the concept, but it got a little bit out of hand at the end of the movie. A typical Netflix watch. You can watch it, but you don't miss anything if you don't.
Right.
And
sorry, the dogs are getting into.
You have talked about it probably a lot. Just a little bit about, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because at the penultimate episode, I thought, Rob is actually right. I've never noticed this, but at the penultimate episode,
Wait, did you say that? Wait, hang on. Let's go back. You said I'm actually right? That insinuates like I'm hardly ever right? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, but
I want to be clear on that.
I didn't notice it before, considering you said the limitation of the volume.
Oh,
but
right.
The penultimate episode, I thought, Rob is right, considering there was the stormtroopers before the door, just on the floor, and I thought, yeah, he's right. The volume has some limitations.
Well, for those of you
to it.
who might not understand what we're talking about, so Lucasfilm developed what they call a stagecraft technology, or it's called a volume stage in the business. And basically what it is they're using large-scale LED screens that you
Instead
can
of green screen.
instead of green screen that you can project backgrounds on practically, so you can see them. They're in camera. But the cool thing about it is when you move the camera, the parallax of the background can move. But the problem is it's new technology, and a lot of directors, it's hard to use. I mean, in terms of if you're directing a shot, like if you're setting up shots, it's hard because you're limited by where you can put the camera, the lenses you can use, how far away you can be, or how close you can be. And people are learning how to use it. And unfortunately, for a franchise like Star Wars that is known for its wide, big, expansive Pinewood Studios sets, and I understand they're using the volume. I mean, it's specifically to cut down on, like, if you want to go to Hong Kong but don't have enough money to go shoot in Hong Kong, you can use the volume to create Hong Kong city streets in the background, and you can use foreground elements and all these things, but it is very specific in terms of how it's used, and people are just learning how to use it. But I think that the Star Wars shows are really suffering from an over-reliance on the volume, which is why I'm really excited for the Andor series, which I hear one is really... I've heard from top men that the Andor series is actually quite good, and it's the kind of series that we've been looking for, which isn't surprising because, again, genre television lives and dies by the writing. And Tony Gilroy is a very seasoned screenwriter. It's... You know, he really knows what he's doing, and as far as spy thrillers are concerned, which is what we're going to get, I can't wait. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. So should I be worried about Thor: Love and Thunder, considering they're using the volume 2, as I heard? Right?
Yeah, I mean, again, they've used the volume in that. I'm sure it was used well. I mean, it looks. I've talked to people that went to the press screenings and the premiere, and people really liked the movie. You know, it looks sillier than Ragnarok, and that's what I've heard. But I've
Even
heard
sillier.
It looks fun. I mean, look, I will go with bells on.
Me too.
If nothing else,
Wednesday.
There are so many hot toys that I want to buy from that movie. You know, the new Thor armor. I want Please make King Valkyrie. Please, please, please. Who do I got to do? Come on, Hot Toys. Stop being so racist. Give me a King Valkyrie figure. You know, I want Jane Foster as Thor. I want a Korg figure. Come on, man. Give me what I want. Why can't people just give me what I want, Dieter? The world would be it'd be a better place, because what I want is what lots of people want. So the things that I think should get made should get made.
Let's see if Hot Toys will...
By the way, I'm coming off like an arrogant prick this episode of Let's Get Physical Media. I'm not usually that way. I'm just spicy this morning, Dieter.
Yeah. And the last episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I used... Or if I can use the critical drinker rule too often, don't worry, it'll be fine. Or don't know if I can use those too often, it's probably not a very good sign, considering. How did Reva get to Tatooine that fast? Don't know, you know. Then the chase immediately with the Star Destroyer, and they're switching around, but inside they're sitting down like they're driving away to a Tupperware party. You know? It'll be fine, you know.
Plus, man, I gotta tell you, for anyone who might watch this show and who might work on a Star Wars show in the future, here's a pro tip: never, ever shoot a Star Destroyer in a 50-50, which means it's going to go sideways directly across the screen. Never, especially shooting lasers. It looks dumb. A Star Destroyer should always be shot at this kind of an angle, maybe from the back. But that's why Star Destroyers are so cool, because they're menacing, because they come like this. If you make a Star Destroyer go like this, it looks goofy. Don't ever do that again. And they did it in Obi-Wan. And I wanted to throw something at the screen. You got to know how to shoot your capital ships, people. You got to understand this. Come on now.
And for me, as nice as the fight with Darth Vader was, we all know, considering episode 4, that nothing will actually happen. So there was really no stakes, you know. bury him under rocks. Okay, I go. He will be fine. So for me, disappointing at the end. And like Chris Gore said, the wobbly chair, the IKEA chair. You probably heard about it.
Yeah.
Considering.
First of all, Dieter, the big question I have is, what does Darth Vader do when he's on Mustafar in his castle? Like when we first see him in the show, he's just sitting there. If I was Darth Vader and I worked for Palpatine and it was 10 years into our Empire experiment, and I would be out there wrecking shop, I'd be out there subjugating planets, I would be eating the best food, I'd be having the best time. The last place I would be is hanging out on my volcanic planet in my giant castle by myself. I mean, he's literally introduced sitting at a chair. Here's another pro tip, kids. If you're going to shoot a scene, if you're going to write a scene, right, and it's set at a table where people are talking to each other, don't do that. Give them something to do. Have the conversation take place anywhere else. Like, can you imagine? Because you're missing an opportunity. When Reva comes to see Vader on Mustafar, he's sitting at a fucking chair. Wouldn't it have been more interesting if Vader was like in the middle? He was in mid-conquest. When he had his, I know it costs more money, but he's out on a planet somewhere doing. Tell me what Vader does. What is the daily life of Darth Vader like? Like, what does he do when he gets up in the morning? Obviously, he gets in the back tank. Does a little meditation. But then what does he do? Like, does Darth Vader go to a restaurant? There are plenty of restaurants. We've seen them. He can go to Dexter Jettster's place on Coruscant. Does Vader, he's got to eat. Like, does Vader go, and I'm being half facetious, but seriously, it's like, the guy must, even though he's Darth Vader, I mean, think about it. What does Darth Vader do? Like, we've seen YouTube videos and things, like, where Darth Vader's working at a hardware store or something, Chad Vader. But what does he do all day? And I know it's not a big deal. I never really would have thought about this until fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi had Reva go to Mustafar and meet Vader, and he's just like sitting in his chair. And when I watch it, I know this is a weird thing to harp on, but when something like that happens, I never questioned what Darth Vader did all day until this scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I've read countless Star Wars comics. I've been a Star Wars fan since 1977 when I saw it opening weekend, and it changed my life. But when I watched Star Wars, I never thought to myself, what do you think Darth Vader does when he's not chasing down rebel blockade runners, and he's not chasing down stolen plans, and he's not walking into meetings where he's choking Imperial generals out? I never thought, but I watched Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm like, where does Vader go for a fine meal? And so it's the same thing with the Predator again. What does the Predators do? Well, here's the thing about this is the brilliance of Predator versus Aliens versus Predator Requiem, the second movie, which is a terrible movie. But the great thing about it is you see the Predator homeworld, and you see that people in the Predator universe, predators go to work. They hunt on the weekends for sport. We just know them as sporting creatures, but in that movie you see that predators are just workaday people just like us. They go to work. I mean, there's probably Predator sitcoms. I mean, imagine there might even be the Bill Cosby of the Predator world. Imagine what they do to a guy like him.
Not too good, I would say. And the last show, I'm not caught up, Rob. I'm missing the last episode, the Orville. Of course.
Yes, I have not seen.
Which what kind of surprised me is just the running time of the episodes.
Yes.
Every episode is an hour, or the last one is, I believe, 75 minutes even.
Yeah. By the way,
so I'm not caught up.
We got some super chats coming in, and I can't see them on Stream Elements. I might have missed one, and if I have, please just DM me or something. Hitchhiker42 says that he got the Peter Cushing Doctor Who 4K Steelbook. Ooh, I would like to get that. He made 2 Doctor Who movies. I would totally get that. Martino Sumoni, one of the great benefactors of this channel. By the way, Martino, you're going to see the Enterprise, the Playmobil Enterprise is going to be hanging right here soon. I even went out and bought wire, and I got this. This is going in the ceiling. That's where the Enterprise is going to hang from. So Martino says, the yelling foxy man, not old, has infiltrated Let's Get Physical Media, and I love it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that you do. Martino, you're a good man, and Michael Knight is also going to be on the shelves soon. The Playmobil Michael Knight. Kevin says, Chris Gore did a side-by-side of the Star Destroyers from both Star Wars and Obi-Wan. The effects look crisper and less blurry in the original film. I didn't know he did that, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is what I can't stand. This is funny. Mr. 47. Oh, this is why I love our audience. Mr. 47 says, never forget Vader had a lovely dinner and night planned for them on Cloud City, and somebody had to ruin it. You are correct. Hashtag rude. You know what, Mr. 47? I forgot. But that, you know what? Now that, I saw Empire Strikes Back 26 times in the theater, I should remember this. Vader did, and he set a nice table. That was a very nice room to have a little dinner. Yeah. And you know what? He did say, we would be honored if you would join us. And then Han Solo tried to wreck his shit.
Yeah.
Rude, you're right. Rude. Rude. Tom Jr. Jackson asks if I'm watching Evil Season 3. I am. You know what? Evil is my favorite show that's not very good.
So it's substituted for Manifest.
Well, no. Manifest is different. Manifest is garbage that I love.
Oh, okay.
Evil is a show that should be better than it is. But Manifest is complete gobbledygook, and please, I can't. The new season can't start soon enough. You know, when it was canceled, I was tweeting with the showrunner he was going to come on Robservations, and then when he got a renewal, he disappeared. Which I you know what? God bless him, because, you know, Manifest. I expect big things from this new season of Manifest. I expect the gobbledygook factor to go to 11. Like, it's Manifest is like the Spinal Tap of self-important shows. It's so great.
Awesome.
Can't wait for it to come back. God, I love Manifest.
The fourth season will be the last one, I believe.
Yeah, and you know what? That's just terrible. Maybe if we just push for a renewal, they'll give it a 5th season and a 6th and maybe a 7th, because I can't imagine the corners that the writers are painting themselves into with this show. I mean, the premise alone was already enough of a dead end. But God bless those writers. I love them all. And I love the cast. Because the cast sells the biggest gobbledygook ever. But you know
That's what good actors do.
You know what, though? It is rivaled by La Brea. Have you seen La Brea?
I know the title, Rob. I haven't seen it. It's on Hulu.
La Brea is not just a street in L.A. anymore. It's the greatest TV show that you're not watching. No, it's not really great at all. But it's not quite Manifest levels of gobbledygook, but it's up there. It's definitely up there.
They rival each other. Okay. Are we done? Are we caught up with all the super chats?
Yeah, but I might have missed one. If I missed your super chat, I apologize.
If you missed one, Rob, I go through the live chat as always. I will.
Thanks.
Bring it up next week. So should we show a little bit of stuff, Rob?
Yeah, I have something I'd like to show that's not quite physical media, but I let me just show this real quick.
Yeah.
As you know, one of the great friends of this channel is Swack Props, Cal, all the way on his South Sea Island in Malaysia. He's on the south. That's why Swack. He uses Swack South. So Swack contacted me, and he said he wanted. As you know, he sent me the 9 Gates of the Kingdom of Heaven. So Swack Props is a guy. Cal is a guy that makes beautiful prop replicas, mostly of paper products like books from movies. His Misty Mountains map from Lord of the Rings is incredible. You can even use black light on it and see the runes. The man is a mad genius, and he has an Etsy store, Swag Props. By the way, he doesn't pay me to say this. And when he was a fan of the channel, and I looked him up on my own and saw, when I found out that he made a copy of the 9 Gates, he makes multiple different copies depending on what you want, of the book from Roman Polanski's The Ninth Gate, starring Frank Langella and Johnny Depp. When I saw that he made that book, and I'm like, bro, we are lifelong friends. Because no one's seen The Ninth Gate, and Wojciech Kilar's score is amazing. So Swack sent me a package, and I didn't order it. He always sends me like artist editions, Let me show you what was some of the things in this package. Look at this. Do you know what this is? It's Khonshu from Moon Knight. I mean, look at this. And this is, of course, the statues they had in, this is like a, I mean, this, the stuff he does is, it's movie quality. His, I mean, this looks like it's made out of sand. Swag Props is incredible. But, not to be outdone, bro. Come on. Dude, well, he didn't send me the outfit, but I mean, look at this work. The Ankh is there. I mean, these, I bet you, I'm willing to bet you that these are even better than the actual weapons from the show itself. I mean, these are incredible. I don't know. These are probably, yeah, these are real. I don't, these are absolutely beautiful. And Swack knows that Moon Knight's one of my favorite characters in all of Marvel Comics. I've loved Moon Knight since the early 80s. He was, of course, introduced in 1975 in Werewolf by Night. And then Swack also sent, look at this. This is the stand that you put the darts on. Right? So this showed up. Swag Props, go to his Etsy store, check it out. Because some of the things that he makes, if you want to give an interesting gift to people, I don't have it, but his Henry Jones Grail Diary from Last Crusade's incredible. Any of his Hellraiser Lament configuration stuff's incredible. And look, it's all handmade. And yeah, it's not cheap. But the things he sent me Sutter Canes in the Mouth of Madness. Come on. So good. So Swag Props, Cal, you're the man. And these are fucking incredible. So, love to have these here in the Robservatory. Thank you so much. Amazing, amazing work, as always. Swag Props, S''WAK, Props, PROPS. Go to his Etsy store. Tell him I sent you, but don't expect to get a discount. Because it's handmade shit. Don't ask him to give you a discount. Cal does not, no schneptions for Cal. You pay full price because he's that good. So, Dieter, what do you got? Show us what you got. No, hang on. Let me ask you this: is this a Trash Panda day? Is the Trash Panda gonna disappoint?
I've got from every aspect of movie making, Rob.
All right, bro.
Everything.
We're an hour into this show, and we haven't even shown a piece of physical media
just
yet.
Quick, I've showed these, but it's 3 weeks. I watched the Happy Death Days again, 1 and 2, and I'm really hoping that we will get a third one. I read on some website, Jason Blum was at a meeting with Christopher Landon. I hope we will get a third one. Come on, we need to finish up the trilogy. Rob, and this is probably, I watched it from our friends Vinegar Syndrome. This is probably one of the best trash movies ever made. I watched Miami Connection, from Vinegar Syndrome. It's probably one of the best trash movies ever made.
And let's give it up once again. Vinegar Syndrome is one of the great companies. Show off that packaging, because Vinegar Syndrome knows how to package. They know what they're doing. They understand. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
They got that matte finish paper. I mean, look at that.
And it's such a great time with the movie. Insane. Another movie I watched, Rob, a Shudder original, which Rob was actually really good. I liked it. Was actually Death Valley. It was done during the COVID. They shot it in COVID. There's a nice making of, Rob, which is really not an EPK. It's pretty long. And it's got an audio commentary. So this is really a nice movie, Rob. Nothing new, okay? But it's nicely done, considering it's done in the garage of the director or somewhere. So for me, nice surprise. Shudder original, Death Valley. Comes with some nice bonus features. I showed this, but this was stuff that I've seen. Okay. Considering closing up the joint, we talk a little bit about, Rob, stuff that is on streaming service that is not getting a release on Blu-ray or 4K. So I was quite surprised to stumble across, Rob, in Italy, This came out, Coda.
Wow.
On 4K and
A
Blu-ray.
4K Coda. You know why? They probably sold
And-
foreign territories before Apple picked it up.
And Rob, I can learn some sign language
Wow.
with it, actually.
That's pretty
So
cool.
This was for me totally out of the blue, just browsing, and then I saw, hey, Coda is out as
in
4K,
too,
Blu-ray.
man. I'd love to get that. And then you got that from Italy?
Italy,
Italy.
Amazon Italy. Rob.
Yeah, they've
So,
got
and
some.
it's,
Amazon
considering
Italy
it's-
does. You got to check out Amazon Italy and France Italy if you're looking for some stuff, because, like, I got Bernardo Bertolucci's. I got The Last Emperor, the 3D conversion, which is not that good, but I have it from Amazon Italy.
Yeah. So this was quite a surprise that movie showed up, because we talked about it and never thought it would, considering it's on Apple, that it would get a release. But they stumbled across it. Coda. I bought Coda. Next one, I had a good time with it, Rob. Don't know if you have already seen it. It was, I think, a little bit of a festival hit from Nicolas Cage. The unbearable weight of massive.
Wait,
talent.
hang on.
You
yes.
got it too, Rob.
I had to rock the 4K. Come on.
I had a nice time with it. Time with it.
Yeah, and
Considering Nick Cage plays Nick Cage, what more can you ask for?
you know, I know something about making movies where people play themselves, and I love it as a subgenre. You know, but yes, I really like this. I thought it was a lot of fun. So this was one of the things that I had picked up, and it's great. It's great to have it in 4K.
It was totally a nice surprise. Considering, I don't know, have you seen the deleted scenes, Rob? Had you time to watch?
Yeah,
with the scene that they had to cut out, you know, where they really went way trippy with the stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And considering writing the script without even knowing if Nick will do it, the movie, you know.
I've been there. I've been there.
The unbearable weight. In Germany, it's just called Massive Talent. So the upper is missing, and it's still in theaters here. An old one, Rob, came out in 4K here. I bought this one for you too, but now I bought it again in 4K. Running Man.
Wow.
From Arnold.
Wait, didn't you get that for me?
Yeah, but it wasn't 4K, Rob. It was just a Blu-ray edition, and now they delivered the 4K. It's just an MRA case. The next one, I will have to watch, Rob, but looks nice. It's just called Steelbook. It's a little bit older, you know.
Wait,
So
modern.
it's-
What is it? What is Modention Lust?
Murder Lust.
Oh, Murder Lust.
Yeah.
Is that a
From
Korean movie? What is that?
Murderous Lust, Rob. It's an Asian movie, and it's a little bit about a triangle, you know, a little bit of cannibal stuff in it, you know, everything what
we love.
what you're looking for. Stew, I hope I say it right. Stew look.
I love how you're like whispering it to me as if no one else can hear.
Yeah,
Like,
no one's watching. Rob.
it's got some cannibal lust in it. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Rob, you want me, but I'm stubborn, you know, as we all are. And I bought it, and yeah, it was disappointing. Morbius.
Oh,
At
dude,
least
you went Morbin anyway. It's a nice steelbook though.
Yeah, that's what's is great about it. But the rest,
You know, it's a movie that'll live on only because you can use the Morbin. You know, I was Morbin the other day. What a disappointment that movie is.
So for me, Rob, I'm saying flat out, I'm done with the Sony universe, considering their movies. What is the next Hunter, Craven Hunter, or what?
Yeah, they're doing Craven, but Craven's like he's a naturalist. He supports the ecology. Like,
with
whatever,
Aaron
guys.
Taylor Johnson playing him.
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah, Quicksilver.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Nah, the Sony universe.
Meh.
It's
Meh.
done for me.
Meh.
It's done. Before the show, I always find time to watch a movie, and I watched this, and I was really surprised. The Rotten Tomato score is not really good, but I thought it's not that bad. The Last Victim with Ron Perlman.
Wow. Okay.
Neo Western. It's comes, Rob, in the aspect ratio of 266 to 1. which is always insane. And the director used it
Somebody's
nicely,
showing off.
And it's a feature debut from a director. So for me, it was nice. It has a twist in it, which we'll all love twists, but this was a little bit
Stupid.
too out of left field, where I was didn't see it coming. But that you didn't see it coming doesn't mean it is actually a good twist. But for me, it was really better than the Rotten Tomatoes.
Did it turn out that they were all aliens from the planet Zeist?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
So it's just about bad guys want to get rid of some bodies, and Ellie Carter and her husband stumble across them, considering getting rid of the evidence, and then the survival trip can begin. The next one I showed, but they did me wrong, Rob, because it wasn't unrated, but now finally it is the unrated of Eurotrip.
Oh, you finally got it.
It is the unrated is out finally.
You really are a trash panda.
Yeah, Eurotrip is great, Rob. Come on. The next one, I actually listened to Chris Gore, but for me, was a little bit mediocre. With Naomi Watts, Infinite Storm.
I wanted to see that. It looked good. I have a thing for Naomi Watts, but
it's based on a true story, and she's really no makeup, but for me, it's nicely done considering the location, how they shoot it. But for me, it was a little bit dragging, as they drop, a little bit dragging. Infinite Storm. So for me, okay, but not the big hit I was hoping for. The next two, Rob, have at least Rotten Tomato stickers on it, but I don't know if that will mean anything.
Probably not.
Perhaps you have seen one. I don't know. From America, The Feast.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Is it? I mean, is it any good? Do we know?
I don't know. It says allegedly creepy, deliciously cursed. That at least says from the Hollywood Reporter and Silver Screen Riot came the quotes. So,
yeah.
The Feast. And the next one, because one thing is sure, Rob, you are not my mother. Considering this comes from Magnet, but haven't seen it, so two.
Look, I'm a big fan of. I think Magnet. Magnet was A24 before A24 was A24. So I'm a big.
Okay, didn't know that.
I'm a Magnet. Well, I mean, they weren't really, but I mean, in my mind, they are. But I like Magnet releasing has released a lot of really interesting stuff. By the way, a super chat came in, a good one. Marcus Bisma asks, is William Friedkin Sorcerer on 4K? Oh my God, the bridge scene. I'm a huge William Friedkin fan, and Sorcerer is not on 4K. It would be great if it was. I don't know if it ever... Look, at the beginning of the year, and Tom Jr. Jackson will confirm this, Kino Lorber promised us, they promised that To Live and Die, it was last year. They promised To Live and Die in LA was coming out on 4K. Promised. Why have we not seen it? Maybe Kino Lorber will do it, but don't tease me, 4K movies from William Friedkin. Where's The Exorcist in 4K? Please, hello. I would even settle for The Guardian, a movie he doesn't even want to admit he made. But please, give me that movie. And I love Sorcerer in 4K, because who doesn't love Sorcerer? Anyway, didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to address that super chat of Marcus's. Yeah. Thanks for asking that question.
This was a little bit of the first haul. Just a quick one. Brian Sutton, does he like Rammstein? I'm going to see them in San Antonio in September. So, Brian, I hope you got tickets for the Fire Zone so that you're as close to the Pyros as possible. Because I'm not really a big Rammstein fan, but their shows are just insane. So I hope you have a good time, and you are close to the stage as possible. So you will get as much from the Pyros as you can, because the stage is insane when they're with the touring at the moment. So Rob, this was a little bit of my first haul. What did you get?
Well, I don't have much, but I'm a little bit more highbrow than you. I finally got a favorite Shakespeare adaptation of mine. Came out on Blue. Richard III with Ian McKellen and Robert Downey Jr. I mean, if you haven't seen this film is. I love this movie. Now is the winter of our discontent. As far as modern Shakespeare adaptations go, this one is right up there. I really, really, really love this movie. Now, I had to get this one because the Steelbook is awesome, and this movie is incredible. The Steelbook for the bridge on the River Kwai. I can't even whistle today. But, no. I don't think so. I have it twice. I got this cool Steelbook then. I mean, there you go. I had to have that. No, it wasn't. Lawrence of Arabia was. And they put out a great Steelbook of that, so I had to get this. I mean, I love this Steelbook. I think it's really, really cool. And I tasted a little bit. I haven't watched this all the way through. The transfer is absolutely fucking spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Speaking of 4K, I finally got my fistful of dollars, which showed up. Again, hey, Kino Lorber, you put out all 3 of the Man with No Name movies in 4K. Where's To Live and Die in L.A., bro? And then because I'm no longer being serviced by you anymore, I had to get Benedetta on Blu-ray. I got to get the 4K. I know. I tried. I actually. No, I have not. I just got it. But here's the funny thing. I want a shout out to Howard Yang, Dr. Howard Yang, and his lovely wife and their son. Howard hit me. He's like, dude, they've got Diabolic DVD has some of the German Blu-ray discs going in order. And by the time, in the 2-hour period of time that he contacted me, they disappeared. So they had a few of the 4K German discs, and they also had the Thriller: A Cruel Picture 4K, which I did not order. I did not think that they would sell out 10,000 copies of Thriller: A Cruel Picture. I hope they repop it because I want it. Yeah, but I don't want just a standard version. I just didn't realize. I thought it was one of those titles that I broke my own rule. Right. Yeah. No. I'm. No, it's true. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I just I missed out. It's okay. I'll find it. It's really funny. I got I haven't got to the news of the week yet because I've got news of the week. But they just released The Warriors, the theatrical for Imprint released The Warriors, and then of course they announced a 4K. The Warriors is yeah, I mean, come on. The double dips are coming fast and furious these days, and I'm like, really? It bummed me out. So, would you like to hear some news? Because that's all I bought in the last. I'm a little house poor, so. Would you like to hear some of the news?
Yeah.
There's some good news. Speaking of Imprint has got some great stuff coming. A movie that was in the Laserdisc days, one of the movies that was really desirable to get, even though it was subtitled in Japanese, but I watched it anyway, was Kurosawa's Dersu Uzala. And this is a beautiful, beautiful film that Imprint is releasing. I mean, I wish, barring Criterion doing the ultimate Kurosawa box set like they did, I'd love that if they did it in 4K the way they did it for DVD. But here's a film I've wanted to get in HD. I'm very excited about this film. It's a beautiful movie. If you've never seen Dersu Uzala, it's great, and very excited they're releasing it. They're also releasing a Walter Hill box set that has movies like Johnny Handsome in it. I mean, it's lower tier Walter Hill, but it's still pretty cool to have. And I love the fact that they are releasing it. So that's very cool from Imprint. Another movie Imprint is releasing that I actually love is Barbette Schroeder's Barfly. This was one of the best canon movies they ever made. Look at this box. I mean, the painted art. And here's a movie that basically Mickey Rourke is playing Charles Bukowski. Like leaving Las Vegas, this is a movie that is about really the seedy underbelly of being an alcoholic. It just makes me want to drink. I watch this movie, and it comes with a Bukowski documentary. This is definitely a box set to get. Mickey Rourke, they both deliver stellar performances, but this was Mickey Rourke. This was like the end of his peak Mickey Rourke period that encompassed things like The Pope of Greenwich Village and 9.5 Weeks, of course, the greatest Mickey Rourke movie ever made, and of course Angel Heart. So that's coming out. Adrian Lyne, his version of Lolita is coming out from Imprint, which, you know, I always feel bad watching this, like I'm a dirty old man, but let's face it, I am a dirty old man, so I'm going to buy this because I like Adrian Lyne as director, and it's great that this is coming out. Now, this was kind of a surprise. This is for you, Dieter. You know, I love my Studio Canal 4K discs. They are releasing Schwarzenegger's Raw Deal in 4K. John Irvin's Raw Deal. I mean, you know, they could release anything. Of all the movies that we don't have in 4K, hey, we do have Schwarzenegger's Raw Deal. The system gave him a raw deal. Nobody gives him a raw deal. That's not even a great ad line. That tagline, it's no, in space no one can hear you scream. But this is a cool. I'll get this because I get all the Studio Canal stuff. Now, have you ever seen? Here's a movie. Gerard Butler's Last Scene Alive. This is a movie that absolutely shamelessly rips off the beginning of George Sluicer's The Vanishing, both the American version and the original. I think it's Danish, where Gerard Butler. Yeah, they're at a gas station and she disappears. I don't even care what this movie's about. Other than that, I watch anything with Gerard Butler in it kicking ass. I love Gerard Butler. I will watch. I mean, Greenland 2 can't come soon enough. So thank you, Gerard Butler, for doing that. And now, if I may, BFI keeps teasing this, and on Blu-ray.com they keep teasing it. There is a 4K restoration of Wings of Desire. This image is not it. They have not announced any physical media release of the 4K Wings of Desire. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Come on, Criterion. Please put it out in 4K. Henri Aleken's black and white photography is some of the best ever committed to celluloid. Why do you keep teasing me with articles about the restoration? BFI is showing the 4K restoration of Wings of Desire. I'm tired of all this. Tired of you. Fuck off. I want it. Give it to me. Why can't I have it? Don't tell me that there's a 4K restoration of Wings of Desire and you keep doing stories about it and you don't tell me when I can buy the damn disc. Now, adjunct to Vinegar Syndrome, this was a surprise. A movie that I can't believe is finally coming out. So Vinegar Syndrome, one of their partners is this company, and the company. I'm sorry, I am not remembering the company name. Heartbreakers, a movie by Bobby Roth. This movie is about manly men doing manly things in 80s LA with a score, believe it or not, by Tangerine Dream. I love this movie. Men falling in love with the same woman, sharing her. I mean, this movie is like the ultimate. I don't think if I hadn't seen this movie, I might never have made Free Enterprise. This movie is you just got to see it. If you haven't seen it, it is such a product of the 80s. This is a must-buy for me. Pre-order. Oh, yes. And now this, a comedy, slightly X-rated version, Roller Babies. Dieter, we met because of the 4K Roller Ball that you bought me. This is Roller Babies. They even use the ad line, in the not-too-distant future, sex will be illegal, but there will be roller babies. I've never seen this movie. I've only heard about this movie, but I just want to buy it so this cover I can put right next to my rollerball disc. I don't know, just because it would be fun. So there you go. Yeah, the companion piece there. And, of course, Gaspar Noé's Lux Eterna, which I haven't seen, that I really want to see. It's coming out, too. And I'm a big Gaspar Noé fan, although I can't watch, you got me that 4K of Irreversible. Have a problem with getting through that. I can't watch that rape scene, but still, I'm a Gaspar Noé fan, so good on him. I'm looking forward to getting that. That's coming out, which, I dig. Now, here's something interesting that you might like, Dieter. Pink Floyd's Animals the 2018 remix is coming out on Blu-ray. I don't have this. Do you have this Pink Floyd disc? And do you like Pink Floyd?
I'm not the biggest fan, but I will probably get the album because of the 5.1.
Yeah, I love Animals. I think it's a great record.
Cool.
I think it's. I don't know if they released it. I think they released it right before Dark Side of the Moon, but I really like Animals a lot. By the way, once again, the appeal. Roger Waters, if you're watching this, and who doesn't watch this show, Roger Waters, I need, please get me Pink Floyd The Wall, the movie, Alan Parker's wonderful film. Please give us a remaster on 4K, Dolby Atmos mix. Yes. I know you're sitting on it. It's all because of you. I mean, Mother, do you think
we need
drop the bomb? We need it, man. I need it. It's a grail disc for me. Come on, make it happen. Why? If I want it, I should have it. We live in the modern age. Give me what I want, what I really, really want. Give it to me now. Please, Roger Waters. I'll get rid of my bootleg, I promise. I promise. Well, let's see what so those are things I thought were worthy of sharing in terms of what they were announced this week coming out. Let's check the sales charts, shall we? The top 10 Blu-ray sellers for the week ending June 25th, 2022. Of course, MORBIUS is number 1. The Bad Guys is number 2. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The Batman. By the way, I will say that Emma Bannon did send me the Batman. It's at the post office. For whatever reason, they won't drop it off. My Steelbook of the Batman. Top Gun. Spider-Man No Way Home. Ambulance. Uncharted. The Northman. And No Time to Die. Top Blu-ray sellers for that week. Hey, that's pretty cool. Not unexpected, but good titles, selling well. Here are the 5 home media sellers total for the week ending of 6/25. And the percentage of the Blu-ray share. It's MORBIUS, The Bad Guys, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, The Batman, and Top Gun. What's interesting about these numbers is Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, 77%, The Batman at 71%. Those are Blu-ray sales, and I don't know how it relates back to 4K, but that means to me like that 71% are Blu-ray sales means not many people have 4K that would like the Batman, which is kind of a bummer. It bums me out. As we know, Dieter, I think you and I were holding on to the last vestiges of our lovely 3D TVs. By the way, I got some new cleaning fluids, and I washed my screen this week, so it looks great. Top 5 Blu-ray 3D, yes, 3D. People are like, there's still 3D discs. Yet there are. Dune, which has rocked those charts for months now. Dune, Top Gun 3D, not a surprise. Minions 3D, Jurassic World 3D, which, by the way, is a really good conversion. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 3D, which I do not own, but I probably should. But look at that number. The 3D, even Top Gun, 0.15%. Not a lot of people have 3D, which is kind of a bummer. What are you going to do about that? And then the top 5 4K discs. Number 1, bro. And we should revel in this. Universal Soldier. And the Universal Soldier 4K, and look at that number. Of the percentage of unit sales, 99.49% of all the Universal Soldier copies that were sold were 4K. Back in the day, but look at that. This number warms my dark heart. I mean, the fact that when Universal Soldier comes out on 4K, people are buying it. You know what? Yep, people are buying it because that's the kind of fans and that's the kind of dedication we have to physical media. Number 2 is No Time to Die. Number 3 is Dune in 4K, which, by the way, both No Time to Die and Dune are amazing reference discs. So is The Batman, not surprising. But isn't it interesting that only 28% of the discs of The Batman sold were 4K, which is pretty interesting. I mean, that means that's kind of an indicator of how much penetration the Batman or that 4K has into the marketplace, which still is small. It's still small. So that's all the news that is fit to print this week. By the way, thank you for Blu-ray.com. I did not ask if I could steal your numbers, but I just did it anyway. So thank you to Blu-ray.com for letting me steal that.
And considering the Batman 4K has the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray comes with the 4K already.
Yeah.
There's no separation that you would buy only the 4K for Batman. You get the Blu-ray with it. Rob, I forgot to mention something considering The Last Victim and considering releasing studios. I never heard of this studio before. It's called Decal, and it's the company that distributes the movie. So
Interesting.
A new company that I forgot to mention. Normally we know Magnet, all the companies, but this one was a new one for me. Last Victim.
By the way, Mr. 47 asks, is the PS5 region free? It is not.
No.
Region free.
It comes with the region that you will buy it.
Yeah. Although, 4K discs are not multi-region. Yeah. Most of them. I want Drive in 4K, but it's only in the UK. Mostly, you should check on that because most 4K discs are not region coded. And I need to have it shipped to Cali.
Until now, Rob, I haven't come across any 4K that wouldn't play.
Yeah.
Considering a region code.
Yeah, it's funny because I have 4, but the thing about the PlayStation is it doesn't do Dolby Atmos.
Okay.
I don't think it does Dolby
But you've got
Vision
your
either.
nice Xbox Series 6?
Yeah, I've got my Xbox and I've got my my new Panasonic and my new 4K OLED. And plus Gone Girl in 4K, we need it. Yes, we do. We need a lot of David Fincher's movies in 4K. I love Gone Girl. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Would love to get it. And it would be great. Mr. 47 says we can't hear Dieter, but you can hear him now. I know. I haven't fixed that problem yet. Yeah. Garen Gillum asks, very good question. How can we not have Ben-Hur in 4K yet? And ditto for Excalibur. It's time to call George. I can always call George. But he has said, I think Excalibur, I wouldn't be surprised. And by the way, do not quote me on this because I don't know if it's true. I wouldn't be surprised if Criterion does not release Excalibur on 4K because they have a deal. They have a deal with Warner Brothers, and they've got there's some shenanigans going on with Paramount. There's some announcement coming. I didn't see it yet. Maybe it's out there. If you know, please share it with us. But Criterion is going to announce some big, maybe a catalog deal with Paramount, which would be pretty dope.
Okay. Is there an anniversary coming up considering the year? No.
Excalibur was not. It was 81. Came out in 81. So
we passed the 40 years.
Yeah, we passed the 40th, and I'll tell you. By the way, somebody asks. They didn't ask on the show. They announced more Star Trek movies are coming out. Star Trek movies are coming out, like Star Trek all the way through 6, and I think the Generations, the TNG movies are coming out. I was asked why they're not in Dolby Atmos, and why the motion picture is. Well, the problem is, when you're remastering something in 4K, if you're going to do it in Atmos, you have to go remix the movie in Atmos. I mean, you actually have to do it. You can't just press a button and have it be in Atmos. Yeah. So they did not, when they restored the films, and they all look pretty good. I mean, the restorations, like Star Trek 2 looks fantastic, and I can't wait to get the director's cut of Star Trek 6 on 4K. Yeah. Because I can't watch the theatrical version of Star Trek 6. You have to have Rene Auberjonois as Colonel West get unmasked at the end and all that. So, but they're not going to be.
Will there a box again with the next 3 or 4?
I don't know. I mean, I would put out a box set with both versions of Star Trek: The Motion Picture and then all the 4K discs. But then the question is, when you do do you add Generations to that because Kirk is in it, or you just do the four
next generation
movies? Yeah, and by the way, if I can throw in an aside, if they release a box set, a 4K box set of the next generation movies, they should add into that box set as a bonus feature or whatever all of Picard season 3. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Just saying. So yeah, I hope they're going to do Excalibur, but George has alluded to it. He's alluded to it.
Okay, let's fingers crossed then. Fingers crossed.
We got some. Stubble McShave says, "I wonder if Gilbert understands why you're talking to a machine." Also, did you get your T-shirt yet? Yes, Stubble, the T-shirt came on Friday. He sent me a Dresden Files T-shirt, which is actually very funny. And I will wear it. So thank you. That was very nice of you, Stubble. I don't know where the CD is. I have to find it, where it went. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Justin Toner, our own Justin Toner, says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter. Not in the chat today, spending time with my family for the 4th, but wanted to share. I picked up the 4Ks of Double Indemnity and Shaft from Criterion for the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale. Raging Bull is out on July 12th. Yes, for those of you who don't know, the Barnes & Noble half-yearly Criterion 50% off sale is going on right now. Pick up all their 4Ks because you owe it to yourself. And Raging Bull, you have to have it. You have to have it, right? Are you going to get Raging Bull in 4K?
I have not seen that the prices dropped, and for me, the Barnes & Noble sale is not.
Oh yeah, you can't do it, right?
I have to watch on Amazon if the price drops on Amazon to half price.
Yeah. Our friend the Cinemike, all the way from the Philippines, says, "I bought Memories of Murder and the Worst Person in the World at the Barnes & Noble Criterion 50% off sale. I got Memories of Murder at another one. I have to get Worst Person in the World. Thank you for reminding me. I might buy more, particularly Drive My Car, which will be released this month, and maybe Okja as well." Yeah, I mean, when those sales come around, there's less and less Criterions that I need to get because I have a lot of them. But those are great titles, Cinemike. So I love...
Especially Memories of Murder.
Oh, my God, I love... Memories of Murder is dope. Yeah. So good. It's so good. All right, Dieter, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Where are we at?
No.
Do we have letters?
We have letters, and quickly interrupt the live chat from 3 weeks ago. So they are a little bit, perhaps, past these topics. But let me just say, previously, on Let's Get Physical Media, CamCam's Crash Course... Can't believe it's already here. Building my physical media collection. I blame Rob and Dieter, and we gladly take the blame.
By the way, for those of you who are wondering if it ever comes down to, remember, it's always our fault. Always. And the question is, should I buy this? The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Yes, you should. I just want to be clear on that.
Perhaps not every title I show. Okay. It was nice to see a German one in the live chat. Altmetall, old metal. Hello, Rob and Dieter, and everybody else from Germany. You fan here. Keep up the great show. Edison Völker. I actually really like Dominion. Not as good as Maverick, but still had a blast. Okay. And Michaelito. Dodgson in prison. So apparently... someone cares, but even Dodgson couldn't save Jurassic World Dominion. And considering Rednick, he was probably pretty on point back 3 weeks ago. Unfortunately, we're likely spending the last 2 episodes on the Reva redemption arc. Let me just see. Factual opinion, I like prequels, but I don't like the idea of a show explaining the origin of the Upside Down, because we talked a little bit about Stranger Things. You would like to more of explanation considering the Upside Down. That was the topic. And Cole said, what we see in the show, our Earth was created once into the Upside Down. Think copy-paste, right? Right when the 11 punched that hole into the Upside Down, so even people were thinking about the explanation considering the Upside Down. Rednick, I think the Upside Down is a frozen point in time that was created in 1983. Paul Nolan, the Upside Down world is a point in time, a replica of the real world. Channel Surf, we heard so much about RRR, the movie, the Tollywood movies. Did I say that right, Rod?
Tollywood. Yeah, Tollywood, that's right.
And finally watched it this week. It was fantastic. Thanks for the recommendation. Much more fun, dramatic, heart-wrenching, and shocking than most of what we get these days.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Mao, our chairman, was in the live chat. Rob said it best. People's love of Star Wars blinds from objectively determining if something is well written or not. Considering
I'm right, by
I
the way.
mentioned,
It's
Rob,
true.
considering Licorice Pizza, I told you that I watched a YouTube reviewer who had problems with the language or stuff that was in the movie, considering Licorice Pizza. And my friend Tim Hens was in the live chat. It's how people talked in the 70s. It's like having a Tarantino movie without the N-word. He keeps it authentic, even if it may upset a modern generation, which some YouTube reviewers did. Kenneth Crayley Jr. Rob, quick question. If the other Christopher Reeve Superman films and Superman Returns were to come out on 4K UHD Blu-ray, which ones would you think come out first?
Well, Superman the movie's out in 4K.
Yeah, but it's the only one, I believe.
Yeah,
Am I right?
there's no Superman. I mean,
Not
obviously,
two, not three.
here's the thing. I mean, for me, I'm not a big. I mean, Superman 3 is kind of a trifle. I like Superman 2. I'd like to see that in 4K. And I don't think Superman Returns hasn't come out in 4K.
No.
No,
unfortunately.
I think I would love to see it come out in 4K in a new Dolby Atmos remix. Look, I'm a big
It would be
proponent.
great.
I wish Brian would go back and restore the Friends and Family cut, the half an hour longer version of Superman Returns that I saw. You know, I don't think it would alleviate all of people's problems with the film, but I think it would go a long way. I think it's all pretty good. So I'd love to see it happen.
Yeah. I used the space shuttle scene many times, Rob, for presenting sound. The sound effects.
Oh my gosh.
The space shuttle scene.
How good is that?
Totally.
So good.
Totally insane. And considering Morbius, Charlie the Unicorn. Dieter, he has seen way worse movies than Morbius. Yeah, that's probably true. And Andy H, 1971. Don't do it, Dieter. Yeah, Rob told me to. Don't do it, but I did put it in the basket. Christmas, Rob, is Dota coming back? Can you tell us something?
Is Dota coming back?
Yeah.
For those of you who are interested, I worked on I was the animatic editor for a Netflix animated series called Dota Dragon's Blood. Season 3 drops next month.
There you go.
And it looks, you know,
There you go.
I believe season 3 will be the final season. Don't quote me on that, but if I dare say, if an animated show could truly be considered epic, Dota Dragon's Blood season 3 is fucking epic. And kudos to the cast, including our own Captain Pike, Anson Mount. Great cast, and really, Ashley Edward Miller and the entire writing staff knocked it out of the park. And I am proud to have my name on 3 seasons of that show. I really enjoyed working on it. And what was so fun to edit that is at first I started reading the scripts in advance, and then I stopped because I wanted to be surprised. So when I would get the footage in and cut it all together, it was so much fun to work on. Really a great show, really surprising. I think if you're a Dota Dragon's Blood fan, season 3 will be mind blowing. Truly, it will.
There
be.
you go, Chris. It will come back. Considering, Rob, you didn't get me any lines now. The super chat from Martino Solmoni, considering the voice work he wants us to do. You know?
Well, wait, we haven't got any lines from Martino.
Oh, okay. So Martino, it's up to you.
Because wait, Martino, if you did you send me lines and I didn't see them? Because I'm waiting. I mean, I get to be Sonny Burnett. Or actually, yeah. I'm Crockett.
He did send in the super chat. You know, could I ask you gentlemen to do a little voiceover work, a couple of sentences each? But we didn't get them.
Yeah, I think
Martino.
We're waiting.
Yeah, Victor Fontaine. Whoa! Boss Level came out on Blu-ray. I missed that 4K. Of course, it's only out in Germany, as far as I know, on 4K. Charlie the Unicorn. I'm beginning to think Dieter has a pair of 40-foot containers behind his place to store all this stuff. Well, Charlie, I probably should get 2 or 3 of that containers. That was the live chat, Rob, from 3 weeks.
Well, that's a good live chat. That was great. So what's next from you, sir?
I have letters, Rob, that you did send me.
Oh, well, let's read the letters. Let's hear what our viewers... Okay. By the way, if you want to send letters to this show, you can go to my website, postgeeksingularity.com. That's postgeeksingularity.com. And you can see up top where you can send us a letter. Just put in the subject heading, "Let's Get Physical Media," or you can write "Rob's a dick" or "I love Dieter." We'll get it. And send it to us, and we'll read it live on the air as Dieter is about to do. And I promise you, because I've gotten letters for this show, and people are like, "Rob, I love the dulcet tones of your voice, especially when you do your ASMR voice." I appreciate that, but I really want Dieter to read the letter because I love hearing you read it in your Saarbrücken lilt.
Mega accent.
Come on, dude.
Okay. Rob and Dieter, here are the letters for today's shows. Mike did send them to me. The first one is from Vincent from France. Letter from episode 69. Hi, Rob.
All right, dude.
Thank you for reading my letter during episode 69 about biopic documentaries. I love Rob's answer and positiveness. I agree with you both that the Cleopatra making of is terrific. I love the film and the documentary offers
wait.
many
The documentary.
insights.
Hang on. Let me stop you right there. The witch making of for what movie? Come on, say that one more time.
Cleopatra.
Okay, good. That sounded better.
Cleopatra.
Yeah. Okay.
I said it in German, Rob. Sorry. I love this film.
How is it in Germany? Say it one more time in German.
Cleopatra.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Cleopatra.
Okay, good.
Cleopatra. Okay. I'm trying my best here, okay? I love the film, and the documentary offers so many insights. Rob's documentary on Superman Returns or the Alfred Hitchcock and James Bond documentaries are also references. It's too bad there are no more big documentaries like these on recent Blu-ray releases. In some cases, I might buy Blu-ray or DVD of films I don't know, or what am I not a big fan of because of the extras. Do you too? Do you find time to watch them? As a side note, I had Double Indemnity on DVD. I have the Blu-ray, and soon I get the 4K Criterion. The Criterion documentary has an extensive vintage 1992 interview of Billy Wilder. All the best to you, Vincent. Considering the extras, Vincent, it all depends now on the movie and how far am I interested in, because like I started with the show, with all the stuff that's coming out, unfortunately visiting all the extras like back in the DVD days is not in the time cards anymore. So I watched, let's say, as example, the bonus features considering the Batman, but I didn't watch bonus features for Morbius.
Come on, man! It's Morbin time. You didn't Morbin.
Yeah.
You didn't Morbin out on the special features. What kind of outfit are we running here?
I haven't watched special features. Sometimes I click on them, and if they are just 5 to 6 minutes, I already suspect they're just EPK kids. Everything was awesome considering making the movie. You, Rob, considering extras?
Well, you know what? I mean, I have to say, to be honest, I used to. Right now, I mean, movies are all made in a certain way, and the I hate to say it, but the great days of movie extras are over. And I think about like Charlie's Dangerous Days documentary. I think about what David Pryor used to do, who's moved on to start making features. Good for him, which is awesome. He was doing David Fincher's stuff. Even the stuff I was doing on Superman Returns, or I'm really proud of my Making of Tron documentary that you can find on YouTube. And it was 90 minutes, 88 minutes long. Nobody would let us do this now because, and of course, I'm really proud of the work that Roger Lay Jr. and I did on Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Enterprise. And CBS, working for CBS on those Star Trek discs was the last time I really felt support from a studio where we were really working together. And CBS, there was an executive there who's no longer there named Ken Ross, who was a home video legend. And he started out working in home video with Andre Blay when they Magnetic Video, 20th Century Fox home video back in the early 80s. And it was Ken Ross who said, "Boys, you guys do whatever you want, go for it." And they came up with the money, and it was really great. But nowadays, the studios, the thought was that the DVD medium, the DVD format, was the fastest growing consumer electronics format in history. And at first, it was thought of that the fact that you got such a value on the disc that they would make special features, and Hollywood was making money hand over fist on DVDs. They were selling like hotcakes. People were buying everything. And one of the great byproducts of the DVD market was that a lot of movies, like, for instance, Dario Argento's Italian horror giallo movies, would get remastered. Companies like Elite and Anchor Bay, and everybody was looking for the best. So that was the great benefit. And at the same time, the studios were spending. I'll flat out say it. Disney gave me $2 million to do special. They didn't give it to me, but they gave me my company $2 million to make the special features for Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So my team and I were in country now this money had to cover. Once I was hired, I didn't get to pocket that money. I had to deliver a product, and I could spend it however I wanted. But I took, 3 of us went to New Zealand and lived there for 14 months, and I had to pay for all of that out of the budget. But we were on set every day shooting. And if you watch a lot of the special features on the making of Chronicles of Narnia, every single bit of that we shot. All of it. And the only way we could have been there is if we were in country the whole time. And then I literally went from New Zealand for 14 months. And this was after I'd been going there for the last couple of years on Lord of the Rings. Then I jumped over to Superman Returns, and I lived in Sydney, Australia for a year and was on set every single day shooting. As a matter of fact, I just moved a lot of my tapes. I shot 1,500 hours of footage of Superman Returns behind the scenes. And the documentary is only a 3-hour documentary. So they just won't ever do that again because there's no money in it. They can no longer translate documentaries into cash. When before a big Hollywood movie would sell 20 million copies, and they would make $200 million on it. So if they gave me $1 million or $2 million to go make documentaries, they're like, well, that was cheap. That contributed to that, because I worked on a lot of Disney products and Pixar stuff, and we used to do some incredible work. Those days are over, unfortunately.
Yeah, but sometimes you get something new, cool. Considering the Happy Death Days, they have new audio commentaries with Jessica Roth and the director, both movies. So this is a little bit of. Sometimes you get lucky, and the new discs come with some new stuff attached.
Now, Dieter, our own Joseph Michael, who's been a member here for 9 months. Can you see that in the live chat what he said? It's in German. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, Rob. I can't read it either, Rob. I have no idea what he is meaning by that. Hi there, Dieter. Wenn ist das Nunstück Git und Slottermeier? Ja, Bayerhund, das oder die Flipperwald Gerspurt. Rob, this doesn't make any sense at all, the sentence.
Maybe he's just trying to fuck with you, dude.
Exactly, Rob. I have no idea if the translation from Google was wrong. Sorry, Joseph, I have no idea what you mean by that. I will screenshot it and think about it, but I saw it, Rob, and I was thinking, I have no idea what he's...
By the way, Midnight's Edge After Dark is in the chat. Shout out to Midnight's Edge. They ask, maybe it's Tom, I don't know. I don't want to say it's Tom. Maybe it's one of the girls. Who knows? Can I send naughty pics? I'd say yeah. Even if it's you, Tom, send me naughty pics. I'm all down with that. Garen Gillum became an Imagination connoisseur, became a member of the channel. Thank you, Garen. I really appreciate that. When people become members of the channel, when they watch this show, I'm like, we're not people like us, man. We're like the Sally Field of, all the other people that cover physical media have way bigger views than we do.
They got troll, yeah.
But you know what? We don't have you. We don't have the trash panda from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. We do not have. They do not. And he continues. We have
with the next letter. Or do you want
Oh,
to
wait,
the
hang on.
subjects.
Yeah, Ian Sneed says, thanks for all the work, Rob. I love watching and reading through my stack of comics. I just ordered a copy of the DC New Frontier Absolute Edition. I've got mine.
Ooh.
Can you see it? It's right over there. You can't, but you know what? I just moved mine in. That Darwin Cook's, the Absolute Edition of Darwin Cook's New Frontier is fucking beautiful. Good choice. I wholeheartedly approve of that. It's really great. You're going to love it. Ian goes on to say, this will be my first Absolute Edition, and I can't wait to see this in its oversized format. Well, you can't really see in the corner here, but I probably have like 50 Absolute Editions. DC Absolute Editions are like, by the way, can I just, as an aside, DC Absolute Editions are like Hot Toys. Once you start buying them, you're like, oh, I have to have them all. Ooh. Now, I have to say this. So they've released 3 Absolute Editions of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. And a lot of people got pissed because like, oh my God, you've recolored these. Those Absolute Editions of Swamp Thing are fucking beautiful. They're fuzzy. They're so great. And of course they recolored them because you were looking at Swamp Thing on newsprint. And you know, obviously when a lot of the time when they translate comic panels to heavy gauge, all white, glossy paper, it's too garish. I think, and I may be in the minority because some comic purists are going to come after me. They're going to be like, well, Rob, you're like an aspect ratio, like draconian. Look, when you're translating something into another medium, I want to see the best version of that possible. Those Absolute Editions of Swamp Thing are fucking great. I know this is a total aside, but it is physical media. I recommend, if you want Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, if you like Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, buy those Absolute Editions. They are definitive. They're gorgeous. I love them. And my God, I'm telling you, they're so delicious that you'll want to eat it, but don't, because it's not nourishing. Anyway, so Ian, thank you so much for supporting the channel in that way. And great questions.
Awesome.
So we have another letter.
Okay, we have another letter from, would you think it, Rob? It's from Omar.
Wait.
94.
Omar 94 wrote us? No.
It's probably his first. And he says, movie coming out on home media for special anniversaries. Hi, Rob, and guten Abend, Dieter. Before I get into my letter, I just want to give a quick birthday shout out to Willow Yang. Okay, this was June 10th. Okay.
Wow.
As her birthday is June 12th, so happy birthday, Willow. We are a little late on that.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Willow Yang is one of the foundational members of this community. She has a great job. She's a doctor. She's Dr. Yang. And I miss Willow. I love Willow.
So, a belated happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you, Willow. Now onto my letter. When older movies now come out on home media, they usually come out around the same time as special anniversaries of those movies. With that, I would like to know what movies you have on home media which you bought around the same time they had special movie anniversary. I ask because I remember a year ago how you both got the Indiana Jones collection, which came out around the same time as Raiders of the Lost Ark's 40th anniversary. Thanks, live long and prosper, Omar. Well, Omar, you are probably way more knowledgeable considering when movies come out and when are the anniversaries. If something like Indiana Jones is the 40th anniversary of Raiders when it comes out, it's nice, but I would have bought it set anyway, no matter when it would come out. So for me, it's not. I don't always know if it's an anniversary. Just if the collection says that it's the 25th anniversary edition or something like that.
Well, Omar brings up a great point. From a studio perspective, marketing perspective, they always want to have some kind of a milestone so they can put it on the new packaging to recycle something. Of course, the Indiana Jones collection, which, by the way, the 4K set, they're beautiful discs, beautiful. And this was what pisses me off, though. They've been re-releasing them with the actual key art from the movies on these new Steelbooks. No different content, but I wish they'd done that the first time. But Yes. So what the studios always look for is some kind of milestone so they can put that actually on the disc cover. So a lot of the time when you buy discs, it coincides with the 25th anniversary edition. You know, it's like Resident Evil because we all needed that box set. It'll be so they can slap it on. So frequently, I mean, if you look through the history of home video and you look at big tentpole movies, they've been re-released multiple times celebrating anniversaries so they can slap stuff on it. What's really interesting is that, like, you know, to be more self-serving, and why not? This is my channel and it's our show, so why shouldn't I be self-serving? Tron was released 40 years ago in July, and I did, it's so weird to think about this, that 20 years ago I did my feature-length Making of Tron documentary. That was nominated for Best Catalog Documentary of the Year at the DVD Exclusive Awards, if I can throw out more self-serving stuff, because why shouldn't I? Because this is already the most egomaniacal, self-serving YouTube channel on Earth. But it is the 40th anniversary, and I don't think that Disney is releasing... They're not re-releasing Tron. They did it before, but I did that documentary specifically for the 20th anniversary. I can't believe it's been 20 years since I did that documentary, but it's on YouTube. It's unfortunate because it was, you know, we didn't have high definition then, so it's only standard def, so it's not on Disney Plus. I wish it was, because I poured my heart and soul into that documentary. And but that's what the studios do. They look for anniversaries. That's why frequently when things are re-released in 4K, they'll wait until there's some kind of anniversary to release it so they can use it to promote the discs. So like this year, actually last month, we're looking at the 40th anniversaries of Conan the Barbarian, not out on 4K. Yeah. Where's Conan? The Road Warrior recently came out in 4K. Star Trek II, 4K. Poltergeist is coming out on 4K, but they didn't have it ready for the 40th anniversary, which would have been June 4th. You've got Blade Runner and The Thing. Both have already come out in 4K. Those celebrated their 40th anniversaries last month. E.T., but that's already on 4K too, I believe. And Megaforce, if you're a fan of Megaforce, it's the 40th anniversary of that. No 4K forthcoming. I can't imagine why. And then we've got, of course, the anniversary of Tron coming up. But Tron is not out in 4K. It's out on Blu-ray. But, man, I would love to get a 4K of Tron with a Dolby Atmos mix. Because that would fucking kick ass. Wouldn't it?
That would be nice. That would be nice, Rob. That would be awesome.
I know.
To get. Do you want to do super chats quickly?
Let's see. I don't know if we have any more. I shall see. Oh, yes, we do. Joseph, hang on. Oh, we do. We do. Garen Gillum says, those absolutes even smell slightly swampy. They do. Garen, you are absolutely right. They totally smell swampy, and they're great. I love them so much. Joseph Michael says, that message from earlier is supposed to be the German translation of the funniest joke in the world from Monty Python. Anyone who read the joke would literally die laughing. That's funny. That was a deep cut. Well, I didn't know that.
Me neither, Rob. Considering Joseph, this sentence didn't make any sense at all, considering the translation. Probably, considering if in an English-speaking movie, sometimes there is German wording in it. It's sometimes, even for me, wait, was he speaking German? It's hard to understand, but I couldn't make any sense of this sentence. Not at all. Perhaps I will have to watch the Monty Python thing about it, how it plays out in context of it. I remember one movie. I don't know if it was not Life of Brian. There was some German wording in it, and it was totally crazy, insane. It didn't make any sense at all. Perhaps it could be something like this.
Well, that's very possible. We have a tip came in from Fernando Barrero. God, I love saying Fernando. What a great name, by the way. You know what? One day I'm going to make a movie, and I'm going to have a character named Fernando Barrero. And I'm going to make him, like, he's either going to be a film star like some great Spanish film star that comes to America and gets in some shenanigans, or he's going to be some kind of historical figure that the world forgot. Fernando Barrero says, "Hey guys, RMB, mom is well and says hello and can't wait to meet you." Well, Fernando, you tell her that I love meeting my friends' moms. I meant that in all good fun, just so you know. Question. Out of Star Treks 4 through 6, is 6 the only one that has a director's cut? Also, Dieter, from your perspective, do you think movies are too Americanized? If so, does it bother you? What do you think, Dieter? I'll answer the Star Trek question after you answer that. Are movies too Americanized?
I wouldn't think so. It depends on what you are watching, Fernando. Considering, like Chris always said, doing a movie diet, watch some Asia stuff, some international stuff, and I would say it balances balancing itself out. Considering, of course, the American market is the biggest market, so there is, of course, influences all over the world. Considering that, but considering too Americanized, if it works, it's okay. But sometimes it probably don't work if you do an international movie and go that route. But if movies are too Americanized, perhaps there was back in the day, but perhaps not anymore. Considering the stuff we are getting, considering just the Netflix series Dark is a German series, I don't think it doesn't come across to me as Americanized, something like that. Or the Chestnut Man from
Denmark.
From Denmark, correct?
No,
Riders of Justice, one of my favorites.
So good.
I wouldn't say they come for me across Americanized.
No, but I mean, look. I think that one of the byproducts of the streaming era that I don't think gets enough credit, and Netflix with their stock price dropping, and people like, oh my God, the world is ending. The funny thing is, Netflix hasn't stopped. They're doing what they've done. I mean, yeah. I am a huge. I will flat out say it. I mean, I'm already being accused. It's so funny because on one breath, I'm accused of being a corporate shill for Disney or whomever, and I am not. Let me just tell you, I will flat out. I will. Dieter, if somebody called us up and said, we are willing to offer you large sums of money to shill for our product, I would flat out, I'd take their money and shill for their product. I'd be like, yes, absolutely. But, and I would tell you that. But the stuff that I love because I genuinely love it. I don't blow smoke up people's asses, as you can, if you read my Twitter feed, I mean, I'll come after you and do better, and by the way, there was a, well, anyway, I won't get into that, but yes. So here's what I would say: Netflix is doing a tremendous job bringing international cinema to the world. Yeah. International, exactly. They if you watch things like Money Heist, and now Money Heist Korea looks pretty fucking cool.
We have RRR.
RRR, the fact that they put RRR up there and still people are sleeping on that. By the way, what's really sad is that a big major motion picture studio in America did not pick up RRR and put it in theaters. They really should have. I mean, I think the last time I remember a major motion picture studio picking up an Indian film was like Lagan, which is a movie about cricket, and I loved it. And that was Columbia Sony that picked up Lagan. And
perhaps the running time is a little bit...
Yeah, I mean, those 3-hour movies, I mean, but still, they're luckily where Elizabeth and I moved to here in California, we have a local theater that does play Indian cinema. It's a really, by the way, shout out, let me just, I had never gone to a Harkins theater before. And here in where I live, there's a incredible Harkins theater. They don't have a restaurant, but they have a good bar. And that's where Elizabeth and I went and saw Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future. Really great. And I want to call up I want to randomly call up. I'll be like, hey, can you come on my YouTube show? I saw a guy from Harkins Theaters speak at CinemaCon, and I knew that there was a Harkins Theater here. And shout out to Harkins. I mean, I've only seen one movie there, and admittedly, it was a low-budget film. I haven't gone to see a big-budget Hollywood movie, but shout out to Harkins Cinemas. I don't know what other people's experiences of them are, but in my one experience, it's now my new local go-to cinema. Really impressed. It seemed really busy. People seemed really happy. Everybody that worked there was competent and good. Projection was razor sharp. Sound was really great. Really had a great experience. So shout out to Harkins Theaters. I would love to have somebody, a rep from the theater, talk on Robservations, because I really dig them. And I did see one of, and I don't know who it was. I don't remember his name. I think he was a black dude. And he was very eloquent, and I would love to interview him because he waxed rhapsodic about film, and I love the philosophy that he was talking about. And where was I? I don't know why I'm going off on this, but
considering Americanization of the movies we were
yes,
Netflix international market,
and Harkins is showing Indian cinema when they have a heady mix of, they'll show some foreign movies in the theater. And they always have Indian movies playing. And I'm looking forward to, as the summer moves on, I'm going to start visiting. I'm going to make it a point to see every Indian film that plays at the Harkins Theaters. Simply because I think after RRR, and when people discover it, they're going to be like, wow, fucking Indian cinema rules. It's a very different sensibility that Americans are used to, but I think it's going to be awesome. I think people are going to go see more Indian movies because of a single film, because of RRR. I honestly believe that.
Yeah. Great. And Ferrero asked you something?
Yes. Fernando, as he goes on to ask, he says, question, out of Star Trek's 4 through 6, is 6 the only Star Trek film that has a director's cut? Yes. There are only 2 of the Star Trek features. Actually, there's a caveat here. There's 3. Okay, there's 3. The first, of course, being the Robert Wise director's cut that was originally finished and came out in 2001. But it's called the director's edition. It is not a director's cut. It is a director's edition. I know this is a very important thing to say. So, Star Trek the Motion Picture is not a director's cut. It is a director's edition. Maybe because many people collaborated to make it happen, I guess. There are only 2 other director's cuts of Star Trek films. One is Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, which is out already. And then there's Star Trek VI, both directed by Nicholas Meyer. In the Star Trek II director's edition, there's a few different takes. There's longer scenes with Peter Preston, Ike Eisenman. You find out that he's Scotty's nephew.
But I believe, Rob, nothing really major. Oh?
No, not major, but it's subtle character stuff. I really love that director's cut, and I'm sure there was more to it, especially if you've read Vonda McIntyre's novelization of Star Trek II, which I did 40 years ago, but I haven't read it since. But the director's cut of Star Trek II, I think, has really nice stuff in it. I really, really like it. Star Trek VI adds the subplot that it was the Romulans, the Federation, and the Klingons that were conspiring to start a war with the Klingons. And while it's not very Roddenberry, he didn't dig it. I really do love Star Trek VI, despite its goofiness. There's a lot of like Sherlock Holmes stuff. Here are these gravity boots, and let's put a Velcro patch on James T. Kirk's back like he never noticed it was there, like no one else did either. But I think there's a lot to love in Star Trek VI. And it has a great space battle, and Chang is great. Gorkon is great. David Warner is great. It's Shakespeare, you know. But yeah, so the director's cut adds the whole subplot of the Federation and Rene Auberginois and all that. We can clean their chronometers. It's great stuff.
Awesome.
So is that? I think that's it here. Let me just check and see if anybody else is throwing in. Oh, nope. There's more people writing in. Writing in. And wow, there's actually Matt Guy says, Rob, thank you for everything you do. The last 15 months, I've needed escapism since the death of my mom, and you've been a big part of that for me. Well, first of all, Matt, I'm very sorry to hear that your mom passed away, and I'm glad. There's nothing better for us when we do these shows to hear that they have some value for people.
Yeah.
I mean, it really means a lot. I'm sure it does to you too, Deets.
Totally.
Because, we're trying to entertain. This is a show.
Nothing more.
Yeah, it's based on the fact that we all love physical media. We all love movies. We all love human creative endeavor. And these shows are supposed to be fun and a respite from, our daily lives are getting increasingly crazier. And thank you for that, Matt. I'm sorry to hear about the death of your mother. A wonderful woman that I knew passed away this week, and I'd love to give her a shout out. Doug Drexler, the great Doug Drexler, the Academy Award-winning makeup artist and perennial. The man was one of the great Star Trek fans. He actually was one of the people starting a Star Trek memorabilia store in New York. He designed the NX-01. His lovely wife, Dorothy Duder, passed away this week. And Dorothy was, if you met her, she was the most effervescent, delightful, classy. If you met her, she seemed like she was a woman out of time. And she always had the most radiant smile. And she designed the food for Star Trek Enterprise. Like whenever you watch Star Trek Enterprise and they were eating something, she would design all of that. She was like the food designer. And her and Doug Drexler are one of the great romantic couples I think that Hollywood has ever seen. And she passed away this week, leaving Doug. And she was so beloved. The last time she had cancer for the last year, she and I were exchanging messages. And she and Doug actually came when I was married. My ex-wife threw me an Eyes Wide Shut birthday party. No sex. There was no sex involved. It was a surprise party. I didn't know it was happening. And it was at my friend Sean's house, who's also passed away. And everybody's around the pool dressed in the Eyes Wide Shut, mask. And they're all going, oh. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was scary. I took off my clothes and I jumped in. But Doug and Dorothy came to that party. And
invitation scary.
Yeah, it was Fidelio. You could get in if you knew the word. But, she will be very much missed. The world is a slightly darker place with her passing. So shout out to Dorothy Duder, or who I like to say, and she always laughed, I'm like, Duder. I love the fact that her last name was Duder, and I always will. So she was a delightful lady. But I'm glad that we provided some respite for you in a difficult time for losing a parent. And thanks for still being here. Thanks for sticking by us and still watching, and thanks for supporting the channel. Hopefully, we will just continue to make people laugh. Nightcrawler says, hello there, Robin Deets. See, you know what? I got to start spelling your name this way. I always write it D-E-E-T-S, which is a stupid Americanization. Yeah. Deets, D-I-E-T-Z. That's the way to spell it. So Nightcrawler spells it Deets. I'm going to go with Nightcrawler's spelling because it's awesome. Hello there, Robin Deets. I picked up some awesome steelbooks last week. I got the Kingsman Trilogy and Cabin in the Woods. The packing on it is awesome, especially Cabin in the Woods. You know what, Dieter? I don't know if I know your thoughts on steelbooks. How do you like? I've become like that Bridge on the River Kwai steelbook. I feel that steelbooks add the prestige. As the packages got smaller, steelbooks make the movies more important. What do you think?
If this wouldn't have looked that way, Rob, I probably could have stayed away from it.
You know what?
It would just be released as a standard, MRA. But considering how the steelbook looks, I couldn't resist, Rob.
Don't you wish though? Look at that cover. Let me go full frame on this because hold that up to the camera. That is some badass artwork. All right. I totally understand. But now show us the cover again. don't you wish the movie you watched made you feel like looking at that picture makes you feel right now? Why? Like I'm like, if I was a studio executive and I was giving somebody their marching orders, I'm like, you make me a movie that makes me, after it's over, feel the way I feel looking at this picture right now. Yeah. Can you do that? They did not. Spoiler alert.
They did not.
It's Morbin time, and Morbin time was not as good as it should have been.
No, definitely not.
I've had bottles of flat Schlitz malt liquor that I've enjoyed more than I enjoyed watching Morbius.
Okay, are we caught up with the super chats?
Dude, we are all caught up. I mean, I think. Okay. Well, hang on, let me just make sure. Just checking. Just want to make sure that I haven't missed anybody.
I think so.
Let me check. I think I think we're all caught up.
Yeah. Okay. Then we still have letters to go through.
Oh well, so, lay it on me, brother.
Yeah, from Brian Knight. Thanks for reading my emails, Robert and Dieter. I would like to thank you both for answering all my emails I have submitted for the last 6 months. Some you comment on, and others you simply read. Perfectly acceptable. Now to plot a little revolution. Barry Fitzgerald, the Quiet Man. On the other hand, I have sent John Campea, I like to say it now, the Chris Corway, Campea, 5 times the number of emails and not one answered on his show. Let's rile up John, crack his catalog of emails and pick 4 or 5 of my emails and read them on the show when he is out of town again. Then in the afternoon, read all the rest of my emails during a mailbag. Use them as a teaching moment on what emails should be read on John's show and which one just don't meet the criteria or don't address current topics being discussed on John's show. Revenge is a dish best served cold, or the dish Klingons enjoy for revenge. Brian. Okay. Considering, Rob, help me out. Actually, mailbag is just answering super chats, not really a mailbag.
Yeah.
show.
Yes. So for those of you, on the John Campea show, which I do every day, at 10:30 in the morning, on the John Campea show, we do things. We only open up super chats for 2 minutes on that show, and they fill up. And the reason that we do that is because we only read enough super chats that we can do live on the show. This channel is a little different. So when you send in emails, like John doesn't look at letters; he only looks at things for topics. Like if people send in topics for the day, and it has to be like very, very topical. But otherwise, other than that, we don't read letters on John's show. On this show, unless somebody takes me to task and says how much they love Star Trek Discovery, I'm not going to read that letter. No, I'm just kidding. I'll read your letter. As you know, we try and read every letter that we get. For anybody, in my mind, on this channel, the Post-Geek Singularity channel, which used to be the Burnettwork, the Post-Geek Singularity channel, the philosophy here is we're a community. And all voices, what do I say at the end of every show? Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. We believe that here, and anybody who sends us a letter, assuming, obviously, if you're going to write us a letter about how, you're a real Satan worshiper and you actually sacrifice virgins and drink their blood, I'll read that letter and I'll keep it in my special file, but I can't, for various reasons, read it on the show. But if you want to celebrate your fandom or something you like or something you dislike, but it's part of fandom, we'll read it. And that's what this channel is about. And I think we're unique in that way, and that it's so great. Dieter, how do you feel when someone writes us a letter? How does it make you feel?
It's always nice, considering until today, Rob, like you mentioned, we didn't get any hate mail until this point.
Yeah, no one sent us hate mail.
Yeah,
I'm kind of waiting.
Until this point, I didn't get any.
You've never
or Mike has separated them already out.
Yeah, I think Mike would send me hate mail if we got it. Look, as you know, you call yourself the douchey douche. You think I don't think you're a douchey douche. I know I am.
But Rob, when you did that review, I laughed out loud, considering it's not a douche, it's a douchey douche.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it.
Well, thank you.
And so I take that for myself. Being a douche.
Well, I think if anyone's a douchey, it's got to be me. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that, and I cultivate that. I cultivate sometimes. I didn't used to, but I kind of lean into hatred now. Don't give in to hate. It leads. Wait, hang on. Let me get that right. So this is the Obi-Wan. When Luke takes off the end of Empire, don't give in to hate. It leads to the dark side. It's not like this, which on one side, here's my love. On the other side, here's my hate. It's tough. But this way, hang on. This way, it's don't give in to hate. But yeah, we haven't. Maybe Mike doesn't send them, but if just so people know, if there's something you object to or something you don't like, please feel free to write in, because we'll read it on the show, and we will not be like fuck you. We'll actually talk about it and discuss it. I mean, we might dismiss it because we'll say we're awesome or something. Everyone thinks, after all, I am the fountainhead of fandom, the viceroy of verisimilitude, the archbishop of Banterbury, the existential Mr. Rogers. I mean, it was so funny.
Baron of buffering.
The Baron of buffering. I try not to be that. We should no longer be the Baron of buffering. No more buffering. Dude, I spent some good money, and I finally got a business account. I mean, look at this image that we're seeing right now. You should be able to lick off the screen. But, yeah, I mean, that's what we're all about here. We're all about. So go to the postgeeksingularity.com. By the way, Mike Bodden, who does that website, he's done such a great job. That website's fucking awesome. I go to my own website and I go down a rabbit hole of awesomeness, even though, and it has nothing to do with me. Just I'm not being an arrogant prick. I only do that on Twitter. But I think that yeah. So send us letters. That's what we're trying to say. Now, Dieter, do we have another one?
Yeah. Because Brian Knight still is on to us. His next letter says, Stallone's snaps, provolone returns. He probably sent it to John, I don't know. Robert watched your review of Sylvester Stallone's upcoming Tulsa Kings on Paramount Plus. His story of being released from prison after 25 years only makes me think this is a sequel to Oscar, the Oscar-deserving movie with Stallone as Angelo Snaps Provolone. Bring back the Provolone crew to this new series.
That's hilarious. Hey, look, have you seen the Tulsa King preview? Looks really good. Stallone looks like he's having a great time. I'm totally going to watch that show. It looks.
Okay. When does it come out, Rob?
It's got to come out quickly. Paramount Plus. Okay. I mean, it's another Tyler Sheridan show. By the way,
August. Wasn't it August?
I think it's August. I can't wait for that. Yeah. By the way, we got a super sticker here from Fredo Valcos. Now, Fredo is a John Campea show viewer. I don't know if he comes around these parts much, but he sent us some support. And you can't just say Fredo. You can't just say Fredo. You have to say Fredo, just like I can't go, oh, it's Fernando Barrero. I have to say Fernando Barrero. So Fredo Valcos, thank you for supporting the channel.
With a super sticker.
With a super sticker. And I'm glad you're glad to see you. So, yeah, dude, I can't wait to see Tulsa King. It looks really good. It looks really good.
Awesome. And the last one from Brian Knight.
Uh-oh, hang on. Let me go full frame on you, buddy.
Yeah.
There we go.
The last one from Brian Knight. TCM, Miracle Puppet Master aired. Robert and Dieter, we live in strange times when TCM premieres Full Moon and Charles Band's classic horror movie Puppet Master. The channel which broadcasts Citizen Kane, Casablanca, and The Third Man is now broadcasting classic direct-to-VHS movies. Can't wait until Halloween for Subspecies. Okay, that's nice, Brian, to know that you're getting, like Chris Gore said, the movie diet, You get Citizen Kane, and then you get Puppet Master.
Okay, let me just say, the first feature film that I have a credit editing is on Arcade, which stars John Delancey, Peter Billingsley, Megan Ward, Seth Green. Let me tell you, produced by Charles Band. Charles Band produced Reanimator. Yeah. I mean, he brought I Spit on Your Grave out on Wizard Home Video. Parasite. I mean, Charles Band has a long, distinguished career. Would I equate him to Orson Welles? Perhaps not. But I do think that Turner Classic Movies, you know what they're trying to do? They're expanding their horizons. And let's face it, Puppet Master's decades old now. Who's to say? that the
Help me,
Puppet
how many
Master
Puppet
movies.
Master movies are there?
Oh my God, dude! I can't even begin to. I
don't know.
A dozen? I have no idea.
Yeah.
No clue.
Probably.
And Dave Parker is going
Okay.
to. He's going to Cleveland. Full Moon has moved to Cleveland. Dave Parker is going to Cleveland and is directing a Puppet Master adjacent film that's part of the Puppet Master universe. He hasn't gone into details.
Okay.
By the way, shout out. I haven't shouted out this in a long time, but I invite all of you who watch this show to get the Scream Factory version of The Hills Run Red, a horror movie that I produced that during the pandemic we made the special features. And I have to say, it is one of the most self-indulgent movies in terms of its special features ever made. The movie is just shy of 85 minutes, and we made 10 hours of special features. So if you haven't seen The Hills Run Red, now's the time. I produced it. Dave Parker from Midnight Metal directed it. And there you go. It's so self-indulgent, I even did a special feature about myself. Not kidding. That's how... Come on. Talk about douchey douche.
So Vincent from France, you should get The Hills Run Red. Considering you're looking for awesome extras, there's
we spent a lot of time, and I've been carrying around these tapes for 12 years. I shot 30 hours of behind-the-scenes footage on Hills Run Red and interviewed the cast. And I'm really proud of the special features on Hills Run Red. I'm proud of the movie too, for how it began and where it wound up. We started out making a $350,000 horror feature. We were going to shoot at Sable Ranch here in LA, and we ended up going to Bulgaria, and it was a $4 million movie. Oops, should I not say that? That was executive produced by Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, and The Matrix, Joel Silver. So, and I'll tell you, the special features alone are worth the price of admission. It's called The Hills Run Red. Order it from Scream Factory. So where are we at, Deets?
So, one last letter, Rob. We touched a little bit on the subject already in the live chat. It comes from Kenny Crayley Jr. The rest of the Superman films coming out to 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc someday. Yes or no? Hello, Rob and Dieter. First off, great work on the show. I have been a huge fan of Let's Get Physical Media the last few years and love the show. The last few years? Are we still on a few years, Rob?
Dude, it's
my question.
Yeah, we're years into this. If you think about it, so we've done. This is our 71st episode. We're about a year and a half in.
Yeah, we are closing in on the two year anniversary.
Yeah, well, I think we should figure out what that is, because we should throw a big Let's Get Physical Media party.
Exactly. My question or comment for today's email is on the rest of the Superman films: Superman 2 to 4 with Christopher Reeve and Superman Returns. And will they get ever a 4K Ultra HD release from Warner Home Video someday? I do hope someday Warner Home Video does put out the rest of the Superman films. Superman 2, both cuts. Superman 3. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And Superman Returns, all out on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc or on digital. I do think Superman 2, both cuts, the theatrical cut and the Richard Donner cut, would be the most logical choice for a new 4K Ultra HD transfer. Plus, I don't think too much color correct needs to be done, whereas Superman 3 and Superman 4, the Quest for Peace, needs a lot of color correction done with his suit. As for Superman Returns, well, to put it bluntly, it needs a ton of work. If a new 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc were to come out someday. First off, it needs some color correction done to his suit, because in a lot of shots it looks too green or closer to turquoise. Also, the film needs a new transfer. So he is hoping for a new 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc release of the rest of the Superman movies to come out someday. Those are my thoughts on the subject, Rob and Dieter. What are yours? Thanks, guys, and keep up the super amazing work. Sincerely, longtime listener and physical media collector, Kenneth Crayley Jr. from Ohio. Comes Kenny. We talked a little bit about the stuff, and at the moment, there's not any one of those movies on the
I'm
rise.
making
The person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has...
I was calling Brian. I was going to ask him to weigh in.
Okay.
But his phone's turned off. What can I do?
But I
think
it's not on the forefront list of Warner.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think ultimately all films are going to have 4K releases or because that's where films will live. It doesn't make sense. People are always going, well, what about 6K and 8K? Basically, the human eye can see vaguely the equivalent of 4K. We're not going to have resolution higher than that. Resolution, you know where we're going to get higher resolutions in 6, 8, 12, however, is for VR and gaming. And things like the volume stages.
Volume stage, yeah.
You know, we're going to get more resolution there. Movies are never going to go back and retransfer. So 4K is where movies are going to go to live. I think. I could be proven wrong, but there's no reason to spend the time, and you're getting into file sizes that are just unruly. But 4K is where things are going to go. That's why, in my lifetime, the thing about what I love about 4K, Dieter, is isn't it great when you buy a 4K disc and if the transfer is great, like you know you never have to buy it again.
Yeah. Finally, Rob. Finally.
I know. It's funny. I've been going through. I've been buying I bought those Laserdisc frames because I'm going to hang them up here in the observatory just as decoration. And it's interesting when I look at these. Like some of these Laserdiscs I bought in the '80s, and it's to know that I have like the definitive version if it's a great transfer. Like Raiders, I put my Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Totally.
And it's great. And I bought that on Laserdisc, during when the format was big. And it was letterbox, probably in the late 80s sometime. I never have to buy the next Raiders movie I'm going to buy. And I should they might do, after Indy 5 comes out, another box set that I might buy. So that's a bad example.
Let's see how the movie will turn out. Rob,
yeah.
Before we do it. Just quick, Rob. In the live chat, Peter Puffer asked us if anyone of us has seen Elvis. Me, I don't have seen Elvis.
What's up, man? Hang on. I got Jay here. What's going on, dude? Doing a little live show. Yeah, is Sebastian? He might there. Yeah, Jay is here. Zoe Bell, Zoe Trope, who's been on the show. Sorry, Dieter. What were you saying?
Have you seen Elvis, Rob?
I have not seen Elvis yet. We were going to go with Elizabeth's mother, but Elizabeth's mom injured her finger and had to have surgery, and so we didn't get to go see it. But we are going to go see it. I can't wait. I'm a huge Baz Luhrmann fan.
Yeah. So this was the last of the letters, Rob.
Well, we got a few more super chats that came in. Tom Jr. Jackson says only 16 copies of The Hills Run Red on Amazon in Blu-ray. Well,
let me fast.
Let me throw out the gauntlet. Anybody watching that doesn't already own The Hills Run Red, it's only like $20. Let's try and sell it out, because how cool would that be? Right on the show. So if you've never seen The Hills Run Red, Dave Parker, the film that the great Dave Scow wrote the screenplay for. He, of course, wrote The Crow, and he worked on Freddy's Nightmares. He worked for Frank Darabont on his Mob City series. And, of course, Dave Scow is one of the man who coined the phrase splatterpunk. He wrote the movie. I produced the movie. Joel Silver was our executive producer, and Dave Parker, who I do Midnight Metal with, directed it. So it's kind of a Let's Get Physical Media movie. So go right now to Amazon.
Definitely.
16 of you, go buy it. It's worth it for the special features alone. Stubble McShave says, who's been a member for 21 months. Thank you, Stubble. He's a friend of the channel. Stubble sent me this shirt for my birthday. The quote on the T-shirt is from Blood Rights, where Harry solves a supernatural murder on the set of a porn movie shoot. That's from the Dresden Files. So, you know what? Now that I know, I know I'm going to go wear that shirt. I'm sorry I didn't wear it today. I'll wear it next week. I'll wear it on the Campia show, and I'll give you a shout out, Stubble, which is great. So I think that's good. I think we are caught up. I think we are absolutely caught up. And by the way, this show's running long. Do we have what more?
Yeah.
More? You have more to show?
I have things to show, Rob.
Well, dude, break it out. People want to see what the Trash Panda buys.
Yeah. I've just said this was the first part of the whole.
Oh,
Rob,
my God.
One of my favorite singers put out a new album. that I stumbled across, and he's called John, and I bought the Japanese one just because I wanted to have something a little bit more special, but it's not really special. Normal jewel case.
Everything from Japan is special, Dieter. Everything.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite hard rock and metal singers, John. And way before we started the show in 2016, he put out this one where he covered a lot of songs. And strangely, Rob, he covered, let me just see, it was number 2, Running Up That Hill from Kate Bush.
Wow. Now, how did you find Jordan? How did you even find that dude? How did you discover?
Well, if you're in the metal sphere, listening around
the metal sphere,
at some point,
are you at a big part? Are you like at the apogee of the metal sphere, like at the top, at the 12 o'clock position?
Not
Dieter Bastian,
not anymore.
king of the metal sphere.
Considering modern stuff or what is at the top of the game at the moment, I'm not really on point to that. But this is one of my favorite singers, one of the greatest voices, and this was called Heavy Rock Radio, where he just covered, has some nice covers to it, and Running Up That Hill was one of them. And this is his new album, On the Horizon Radar, from Sean.
Yeah.
So a little bit of music here. The next one, Rob. This movie should be shown in film school to show how not to do it.
Oh, here it comes.
Considering
that's not positive. We're supposed to support filmmakers.
No, Rob. I like the premise, Rob. I don't know if you have seen it. It's a nice media book from one of my favorite German labels, Pierrot Le Fou, but it's always a 50-50 thing.
That's a Jacques Tati movie.
13 Fanboy. I don't know if you have seen it, Rob.
No, I have. I am 13 Fanboy. I haven't seen it.
So it is about actors who play themselves, who were sometimes in a Friday the 13th movie, but now get real killed by this killer. So from just the paper, from the concept, it looks like a great idea. Ken Hodder is in it, and the only strange thing is, Rob, Corey Feldman is in it, but he doesn't play himself. But you have other actors who play themselves.
Of course,
you know?
Of course.
And Rob, always what is already a deal breaker for me is how a movie looks, you know? Like I said, The Last Victim with the 266-1, just the aspect ratio was great, you know? But this looks like, Rob, totally video production, totally low budget. So even immediately from the look of the movie, for me, I thought, oh no, not this kind of look. Dee Wallace is in the movie, you know.
Wow.
Dee Wallace is in the movie too. But Rob, considering editing the kills, I laughed a lot, Rob, but not with the movie.
In a good way.
Over. Not in a good way.
Never a good sign, Deets.
I left over the movie. The only good thing is one of my YouTubers I follow, Drum Drums, was in the movie actually with his channel. So this was a nice thing. But for me, unfortunately, this was not good. 13 Fanboys was not what I was expecting.
Well,
but considering another movie that you perhaps I don't know if you showed it, if you bought the 4K or are you waiting on it. This is from our friends at Turbine, Rob. And what I liked, I told you about Turbine. Turbine says this is coming out, and then it comes out the following week. You know, it's coming out, and you have to wait 6 months. No, they announce something, and then a week later it comes out.
Totally.
Henry, nice movie, Henry. Portrait of a
really one of the more uplifting. I think Amelie
totally.
and Henry in the same name, same. What a double feature.
What a double feature, and it is of course with the 4K, and it comes with the movie in. I know it's perhaps sacrilege, a widescreen edition on Blu-ray, and I don't know if the third one is the film. Then once again in the 4:3 aspect ratio with bonus. So it's a 3-disc media book, considering, like Rob said, the movie for a nice double feature.
A wonderful afternoon at home.
So I don't know, Rob, did you show the Arrow one? Did you bought the Arrow one?
I didn't. I have an old version of it. I need to. It's to me. I kind of like the grungier the better.
Yeah, probably for that movie. But I read great things about the transfer.
Yeah, I've heard it's great too. Yeah, I want to get that.
The next one I already showed, but I bought it again, Rob, because I have the other ones too from Magnet, US versions, because they come with a Dolby Atmos track. The Norwegian catastrophe movie.
You in that movie.
The Burning Sea, Rob. But you can watch your Moonfall every day of the week instead of watching something good, considering catastrophic movie. The Burning Sea, Rob. I recommended it. Like the way
I know you did. I keep seeing it pops up in my feed.
Go watch your Moonfall. Come on, Rob. Go watch your Moonfall. The next one, Rob. The next one, I had a total blast with it. Not a good movie, but entertaining as fuck. And this is one that was missing from something like the Obi-Wan show.
By the way, I want to make new Dieter Bastian merch, and it just says entertaining as fuck.
Yeah. Considering energy, we all love the Bayhem. Ambulance. I finally saw Ambulance. This is the Steelbook.
Now, how does that's a cool Steelbook? Now we all love Bayhem. Look, for all of the people will be like, well, Rob, you're so critical of these things, but yeah, you'll give a pass to Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Let me just tell you, fuck yeah, I will, because it celebrates the American space program, and the Battle of Chicago at the end of that movie is a tour de force in Bayhem.
Excellent.
It's so great. Now, do I like Transformers 2 with the big clanking balls? No. Do I like Transformers 4 or 5? No. But Transformers 1 and Transformers 3, I'll die on that hill. I'll die on that hill. Because those are movies that know what they were. Michael Bay set out to do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to objectify Megan Fox harder than any man's objectified a girl in the movie ever without taking off all of her clothes, which he did. I never thought watching a woman lean over an engine would be as sexy as that was, but it was, and gave us the greatest photorealistic Transformers robots ever. Maybe, though, until Bumblebee, because Bumblebee was more along the lines of actual canonical Transformers. I love Bumblebee. I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway, you should take it over.
You are going with it that AM is always a good thing.
And here's the thing. I watched Ambulance, though. Here's my problem. My problem is anyone who lives in Los Angeles and watches this movie will know it's a complete, utter fantasy. You cannot pull a heist in the city and be where they are and drive where they are and hope to ever get anywhere. You're fucked. You're fucked. Everyone knows this. There's no verisimilitude. The movie is worse than bad science fiction.
Exactly, Rob. But I'm not from LA, Rob. So this is a point that is not attributed to me. But you
did you love it?
It's not.
You can love it.
Like I said, it's not a good movie, but entertaining as fuck.
There you go. No, I will grant you that.
Because probably everybody was on cocaine. Jake Gyllenhaal was on cocaine. Michael Bay was on cocaine. He said, I wanted an explosion here. Cut to his editor. Cut an explosion here with the car, but it didn't fit the chase. I don't care. Put an explosion of a car here. If it doesn't fit the chase, I don't care. And the editor was on cocaine too.
No. Here's the thing. No one on LA is on cocaine anymore. You know why? Because, you used to think about honor among thieves. You used to be able to know, I knew a lot of great drug dealers in my time. No one wants to buy cocaine anymore because it's all cut with fentanyl. Drug dealers they no longer have honor. They no longer care about their customers. They don't care about their product. You cannot do great cocaine in LA anymore because it's stepped on. It's dangerous. It has fentanyl in it. Fuck those people. They've ruined my fun. They've ruined ecstasy and they've ruined cocaine. And until they make both of those drugs legal, and by the way, ecstasy is coming, bring it on. But I don't know. We might live in a fascist Christian nightmare soon because all of our rights are getting taken away and whatever.
But Rob, did you had a great time when they do the live surgery? The live surgery with the laptop, probably that they were probably real surgeons, like Michael Bay liked to use, real people on the golf course, and then the blood gets splattered. I had a great time. And those drone shots, not really important for the story, but they were awesome.
Well, he hired Michael Bay hired. If you haven't seen, for those of you who have never seen this,
The world champion.
yeah, look up the like bowling alley drone,
Okay.
and that's the bowling alley, the drone flying into the bowling alley. It's all real, and that's where Michael Bay found that guy, and he got one of the great drone pilots, and he used. Look, I've always said to people, I want to see George Miller, and maybe he's doing this in Furiosa, I don't know. One of my dreams is to see the ultimate car chase shot entirely with drones that are painted green so you can paint them out, where they're actually, at, like what Friedkin did in French Connection, these drones would be at car level. I mean, literally on the ground, you'd have to have the best pilots that are moving in and out of the cars, not like you're not away, you're like right in it, and the drones are shooting, and they're literally circling the cars as they're, I mean, we haven't seen it yet. Ambulance did some really interesting stuff with drone shots up and down, but I'm talking about...
And the parking garage was a drone shot too.
Yeah, incredible. I'm talking about using drones like pacing cars, like literally going in and around and even underneath the cars as they're driving. You could do the most epic car chase ever. Maybe George Miller's doing that with Furiosa. I don't know, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. And what totally surprised me, Rob, the end credits were just 2 or 3 minutes. We're used to getting 10 minutes of end credits, and it was, the movie's.
No, man, Michael Bay took his crew out and was like, hey, man, let's go shoot a movie, dude.
Yeah, let's shoot this thing. Come on.
Let's shoot
and
this fucker.
Considering Ambulance, a cat in the back, but this seems like an Ambulance movie too. It's just called Ditched. Rob. So
and
I have, no
was it good?
Idea. Cat in the back, Rob.
Oh, you bought it.
Haven't seen. Rob showed the first one. I got the second one. A few dollars more.
Yeah. Oh, did I not show that? I have that too.
I think you've got that one first.
I showed that first.
It was reversed, considering.
So good.
A few dollars more from Kino Lorber. The next one you showed, Rob, but this is a little bit more of a special edition. This is from Amazon Italy, The Untouchables.
Oh, yeah. I've got my
Steelbook. Yeah.
Yep, I've got my Steelbook. Oh, you got the slipcase. You got the slipcase one.
So you got the slipcase.
By the way, have you looked at this? Have you looked at the transfer?
Yeah.
It is
nice.
This is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So inside,
I ran out of Blu-ray slipcovers. I need to get more.
We have some cards and name labels here.
Yeah.
And the Steelbook Rob showed.
Dope.
Already.
It's dope.
So it comes with the poster.
Yeah.
Of the movie. So this was a little bit more of an elaborate special edition. Considering, I made a mistake. That comes inside the Steelbook. The next one, some people have perhaps already seen, and it reminds me, Rob, you showed what was coming up in the next weeks, and Raw Deal. You showed Raw Deal.
Raw Deal.
Coming up in 4K. Considering German titles, Rob. There was the Stallone movie, Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra.
And Cobra is
marrying Cobretti.
Yeah, with Sylvester Stallone, and they have this little rivalry, considering Schwarzenegger and Stallone back in the 80s. And Cobra was titled in Germany the City Cobra, the City Cobra, and Raw Deal Rob was called Der City High, the City Shark here. So you had the City Cobra and the City Shark. So it was not a Raw Deal here, considering that movie from Arnold. So I showed this on probably, Rob, I wouldn't have needed because you and I have the Studio Canal, but I did like the cover.
Look, it's a final.
And of course,
look at how to get
like
a little
everyone
Gilbert.
knows, Escape from New York is called the Rattlesnake in German.
Come on, for real? He's not even a rattle. It's a cobra. It's a cobra.
Yeah.
Snake's a
cobra. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's called die Klapperschlange.
A schlong?
This is a German Schlange, yeah. It is the German media book. It comes with the 4K 2 and the Blu-ray and the extras, and it has the soundtrack in it too.
That's cool. That's like the Studio Canal version, but with a different. That's really cool.
And it comes with the little postage, and I totally loved the cover artwork. So I couldn't say no, Rob. Damn.
No, you got to get that. Come on, man.
And the last one, of course, 2 Korean ones. The first one from Sang Yimou, Rob. I don't know if you have seen his newer movie, Cliffwalkers. The movie is
No.
called
Well, look at that.
Cliffwalkers.
You guys, the Germans do it right, man. You do it right there. Look at those media books.
It plays in the 30s, in the 1930s, with some Japanese around, and they have some spies, some Chinese spies. They have to infiltrate. It was really, really nice movie from Zhang Yimou, who did, of course, Hero, also Flying Daggers, and he did the Great Wall 2. I always forget about it, that he did the Great Wall 2. So Cliffwalkers, and
Nice.
the other one I haven't seen from Korea. It's called The Outlaws. Just The Outlaws. A little bit of a warrior vibe here.
Nice.
So media book 2 with a Blu-ray, and it comes, strangely enough, with a second Blu-ray, but it's not another movie. It's completely bonus features
Wow.
on second disc.
Most excellent.
Most excellent, Rob. The Outlaws, the last one.
No, well, that's a great haul,
German-
Dieter.
3 weeks, Rob. 3 weeks.
Very
What do you
good.
expect?
By the way, Marcus Bisma says, is Saving Private Ryan color corrected in 4K? Well, remember, that film was very desaturated on purpose. So you're not going to see bright colors. It was shot that way by Janusz Kaminski, and that's it. I think it looks great. I have that 4K. It's great. Listen, I must go. I must leave. We have to end this show, Dieter.
The show.
And so I'm going to do that. All right. I want to say thank you to our moderators who were here. We have a great moderating staff. Tom Jr. Jackson was here. I know that some people were. Lord Toff is here. And I want to thank our Justin Toner couldn't be here because of the holiday weekend, but he wrote in. Thank you, Justin. And I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel via Super Chats and tips. Thank you so much. And memberships, remember, you can go to the postgeeksingularity.com and send us letters. Dieter, where can people find you on social media?
They can find me if they want on Instagram, under DB Deets, or here, of course, on Let's Get Physical Media. If you want to know anything about those releases or anything else, you can always ask me in the comments about it. Or send us, like Rob said, letters.
Do me a favor, riff for me for a couple seconds.
So I don't know what I can riff about. I have no idea what Rob is doing. So what can I tell you about? I will see Thor, Love and Thunder on Wednesday. I'm really curious why Rob hasn't seen it already. Mr. Campia has seen it. Mr. Chris Gore has seen it. Why? Why has Rob hasn't seen it? I don't know. Camp Searcher, thanks, gents. Okay, another great show. Okay. What else? I will have to catch up with, like I said, Umbrella Academy. Only halfway through. The boys were coming to an end already, which is sad. I hope they leave not that many doors open on Friday. What else? Like I said, the Orville. I will have to catch up, and I will watch the last episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. But I hear some rumblings from Rob about Picard Season 3 being the best there was, best there ever is, considering modern Star Trek. So I don't know what he has or has not seen to give us this information. Because RoboCop, did you get a look? Did you send me the link? I don't remember if I got the link, or it's probably in my YouTube watch list. What is my most Charlie Unicorn? My most anticipated 4K coming out soon. Let me just think. What is coming out soon on 4K? Okay, Raw Deal, but it's not my most anticipated.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I had a dog issue.
Okay, I would have to check my list or just my pre-orders. Let me just check, Charlie. if I can see what I have pre-ordered on Amazon Germany. He asked me what is my most anticipated 4K coming out. Let me just see if there is. What I'm looking for is actually, Rob, I recommend it. I don't know if you have seen it. Old Henry, the Western.
Oh, okay.
Which is coming out here in 4K.
Yep.
And considering Doctor Strange, Rob, on Disney Plus, it's with the IMAX aspect ratios, I believe.
Yes, it is. It is.
Nice.
It is indeed.
Okay, there I have, Charlie, I've actually not that many. X, one of my favorite movies this year, coming out in 4K here in Germany.
Nice.
Cannot wait. Event Horizon, even we all know it's the theatrical version. There's a new movie coming out I'm looking forward to from Dario Argento, Dark Classes. Don't know if you have heard of it.
Yeah, I hear it's not that great.
Not good? Not good? Rob?
Yeah, look, I want to see it because it's Argento, but yeah.
Okay. But there are not that many 4Ks in my German pre-order list, Charlie. Okay.
Well, dude, we are pushing 3 hours, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I thanked everybody, the moderators. I want to thank people for supporting the channel. I want to thank my amazing co-host, Mr. Dieter Bastian, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. And, the Burnettwork, I keep saying this, but we're going to be back on more of a regular schedule. Robservations is coming back on a daily basis beginning this week, starting on Tuesday. And we got Midnight Musings. We got Midnight Metal coming with Dave. We got more, of course, Let's Get Physical Media. So the channel is going to be back to where it used to be, rocking and rolling. We have a member chat next weekend. Actually, we don't have a member chat next weekend on Saturday because I have to record 2 Designing Hollywood podcasts. One of the people I'm interviewing is Ellen Rojanek, who was the costume designer on Basic Instinct.
Ooh.
I was thinking about taking my Sharon Stone and having her signing the back of my Sharon Stone statue. I think she'd think that was a little creepy and weird, so I probably am not going to do that. But hey, could be fun. And on that note, Dieter, I think we have to end the show.
Something a little bit, Rob. Paul Nolan said in the live chat, Dieter, they made a sequel to The Outlaws this year too. So
wow,
this must be pretty good if they do a sequel. Just read it in the.
It's pretty good.
In the live chat. Okay.
Well,
on that note,
again, if you want to send letters to Let's Get Physical Media, put that in the heading, or if you want to call me a douchey douche, or say if you want to be rocked like a hurricane, whatever, just put something in the subject matter or subject heading that we know it's from you for Let's Get Physical Media. We will read your letter on the air, assuming it's not a satanic incantation that will cause the Dark One himself to come up from the Stygian depths of hell and devour us. But please go to postgeeksingularity.com and send us a letter.
But didn't you want to start a cult anyway?
It's true. I mean, I dream of one day. I kind of want to start, a dark magic sex cult, and maybe I'm a little over the hill for it now, but I'm perfectly willing to work out, and look like Chris Hemsworth and Thor. I could do it, and then I'm going to start my dark magic death metal satanic sex cult. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot of work involved, though. That's the thing. I'm like, I'd rather just watch movies and play with action figures. But if my younger days, I absolutely would have started a satanic, heavy metal, dark magic sex cult. I would have.
There you go.
I would have probably called it Bob's Your Devil. That would be the name of my cult. Instead of Bob's Your Uncle, because I'm Bob's Your Devil. That's right.
Almost like Beelzebub.
That's right. Bobzelbub. That's what it'll be. Bobzelbub. Or no, Robzelbub. Instead of Beelzebub, it'll be Robzelbub. That's it. There you go. On Robservations, And maybe, we can make it a thing. A lot of people don't like it when I joke about satanic cults. Go figure. But, what can you do? Maybe I'll just make that great. Someone's got to make the new. I mean, I have to say that Hereditary, Ari Aster's Hereditary, his follow-up film to. Well, no, Hereditary was his first. Midsummer was his follow-up. Yeah. But they're both about cults.
But hasn't he a new one coming?
Yeah, he's got a movie called I think it's called Disappointments Boulevard, but it was delayed. I believe. I can't wait to see it. But yeah,
well,
I mean,
there were I believe some rumblings about the running time again.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours long. Bring it on. I mean, Abel Gantz's Napoleon, Ari Aster's Disappointments Boulevard. Come on. I don't understand. Why doesn't anyone want to release a 4-hour movie? Come on. I'd go. Me and my friends.
With a little intermission.
Yeah. Yeah, where we could go conjure up Satan in the lobby. Part of my cult.
And on that note,
before I get canceled by this gets demonetized because we're talking about movies. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Well, Dieter, once again, thank you for being here. Another great show, and Omar will tell us that was the longest show you guys ever did.
Probably a little bit below.
It's been 3 hours, man. It's been 3 weeks. We haven't been back.
Okay. So on that note. Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. And with that, as we always say, have a better day.